Welcome, Internet, to the Play Some Video Games podcast. It's your boy, Dat Ninja Dev, joined as always by Donnie, Eat the Hype Reese. We are without one Delvin Cox today. He is dealing with some stuff. He's not quite quitting us, but he is gone until November. Not literally.
That's what Elaine said too.
He decides.
It's like, I'm not quitting, and then just kind of quit. So you never know.
Yeah, you never know. I don't believe Delvin is going to just up and quit, but he is dealing with some stuff. And when he's ready to return, we'll welcome him back with open arms, but talking a lot of trash. Because that's how we do.
Yeah. The question would be if he continues to post other podcasts. That's when we'll know.
Yeah.
You know, if 8 other podcasts keep going out, like if he's on Shaq, then he's old Yeller to us.
Basically, and we'll have a third chair open. Maybe. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many people we can get in here to deal with our nonsense.
So fair point.
There is that. So Delvin, good luck and Godspeed.
Yeah, man. Thinking about you, brother.
Yeah. Donnie, how's your week been?
It's been a week. Nothing too good, too bad. Just work. Same. Nothing's changed. So I've just been working and grinding and stuff, all that. I played some games. I did some yard work. My hands are acting up again. Oh, because I think of the heavy workload. Like my hands and arms are getting a little. I'm starting to sleep with the braces and stuff again. I'm putting on the topical gels, and I went to a massage place today and tried to get a massage. Mm-hmm. I thought that you could just go in and be like, "Hey, what's the price for like a hand massage?" Mm-hmm. And they're like, "It's just a massage." Like you just pay for a massage. It doesn't like where are the massages and all that doesn't matter. So it's like 60 minutes. They're like it's $100. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I don't really need that.
Yeah.
Like they just quoted me like, yeah, it's a 60-minute massage. Like we'll massage whatever you want. Like if you just want your hands massaged for 60 minutes, that's cool. But I don't do massages apparently, as everyone can tell. Not into the massage biz.
I don't really do them either. My wife gets them. She really appreciates the massages, and they usually are time based. But I would have thought like if you need just like your arms, like arm or
I felt like a hand massage is probably something that's like common. A lot of people type and stuff. Like you'd think that would be like its own thing. You would have like a 20-minute or something like that. I don't know.
I feel like the industry is missing that. Like there's a whole subgenre of massage where it could just be like a hand massage.
Yeah, like we don't need the table and the herbal essences, and I don't need to like get undressed and all. Like none of that needs to happen. Yeah, like I sit down, you sit down, you hold my hand, and so I walked out. But I like that's how bad it's been. It's been so bad that I was like, I might pay somebody to rub my hands right now. Damn. So I've been doing ibuprofen. I've been icing. I'm pretty sure. I mean, not to self-diagnose. I'm an idiot, but I'm taking my wife's word. Like, I'm pretty sure. I think it's arthritis. Ooh. And the reason that she says that is because when I ice, it makes them more stiff. Like when I ice my hands after I ice, like immediately after, like I can't close like it's hard. Everything hardens up, Damn. Yeah. So, outside of, I don't mean to just come here and whine, but you know what?
Yeah, it's life.
We don't have like this is the place where we do this. Like I don't have.
This is our show. This is exactly
I don't have other people or places to do this. So listeners, I apologize. But outside of that, it's been work. We're preparing for the former president's arrival tomorrow. We've been doing all this. All of the other defendants have been coming in all week. Like all the things that I said last week remain true. Yeah. I don't normally talk shop about like our business, but I've told you this privately. The amount of stuff that they're getting, like voicemails and email and just some nasty, vile stuff, which I won't even attempt to repeat.
Right. The world is unhinged.
Our intelligence team were logging that stuff like on a spreadsheet. Jeez. So like the idiot that I am, last week when I was listening to a meeting, I was like, do you guys want like some help with that? So the reason my hands hurt is I've been around the clock trying to build like a database for them to log these things and share them with other agencies and let them share theirs as well. So that's really where the coding is. My hands didn't just start hurting. I've been working.
Coding big time.
I've been coding like almost every day. So, that's where it's coming from. And it was on such a good run, like I thought, like I haven't had a problem in months. I thought that maybe I was over it. And Don, it just took 3 or 4 good days, and I'm like, oh, here it comes again.
I said, I'm back.
But the braces help. Sleeping with the brace at night helps.
Yeah, my wife does that. She's got not just a regular brace. It's like some kind of weird brace that kind of props everything up. So it's for cubital tunnel.
Yeah, that's what I have.
So she's got
those. I have cubital tunnel.
Those. Okay,
that is diagnosed. I know I have that. Yeah, cubital tunnel.
Yeah. So
everyone knows about carpal tunnel, and cubital tunnel is the other part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's got that, and she's got rheumatoid arthritis. So
I think that's what Melissa told me that I've got. And the reason she said that is because it's right in between my knuckles, like in the middle of my hand.
Yeah.
It's not on the outside. Like it's not the forearm, it's not the pinky and stuff from before. Like it's right in the middle. It's like in between the bones in my hand, it hurts. So
yeah, Chanel will get it where it hurts like in between like her middle finger, like the in between the knuckle will hurt, and then her shoulders is where it's really bad.
So
yeah.
I've been trying to treat that as I go along, but
yeah,
I'm kind of excited to build this thing for them and hopefully help them be able to like cross-reference it. Now, again, I can say some things. It's been fun to listen. So, okay, I'll just say this. I'm not going to say any names or anything like that, but I'll say this. There's a lot of people spewing vile stuff on the internet. And, we talk about it all the time, and it's not a thing that's uncommon to gaming, right? To tie back in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of times people are always like, oh, it's because people can be anonymous on the internet. I'll just let you in on this now in case you're thinking you're one of these bad actors. You're not as anonymous as you think you are.
Right.
Because I've been listening to these investigation phone calls. They're picking up people all over the country through other law enforcement, that we have people like going out to people's houses and finding people that are making some offensive TikToks or YouTubes or Twitch streams, or like they're finding people. And one of them was a person who was living with their parents. I'll just say that.
Oh, God.
So they had to call this person's dad. And I had to listen to the investigator be like, let me tell you what your son's doing on the internet right now. I was like, oh, shit. So, it's...
He done fucked around and found out.
He found out. There's a lot of people finding out this week that you can't just say, like, we have freedom of speech, but this is going beyond that. You can't threaten people's lives and their family members because you don't agree with what they're doing.
Yeah, that's
and people are finding that out the hard way this week. And I wouldn't say I'm enjoying it, but I feel rewarded in helping them with that mission.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely some good stuff that you're doing there, especially if you can make that easier for them while they got to listen to all of this crud and find the people and do all the investigative work. I mean, if you can make that easier on them, the better, because that's not fun stuff. Like,
no, it's not. I mean, I realize that this exists in the world. I did not realize that these people were dealing with it until it happened. Like, this is not stuff that's covering in the news. I wasn't even prepared. I told you guys when it happened. I had an investigator. He was like, hey, Donnie, we're having a meeting. Can you play this file? He just handed me a thumb drive, and I just plugged it in and played. I was like, wait a minute. You should warn me or something.
Me for this.
Yeah, what? A file?
Trigger warning. Something.
A file? Whoa.
Yeah.
So that's it, man. That's. I mean, I've been playing a bunch of games. I can talk about those, but what are you up to? How have you been this past week?
I mean, school being back, dealing with the 7th grade shenanigans. So my daughter's in junior high, and that has been. It's been a week. Like, she's been in school for 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and my God, the amount of things. It's just, oh man.
It only gets worse.
I was not prepared for this at all.
My daughter got the lead in her play. Sorry to interrupt you, but it's a big deal for her, and she's very excited.
That's awesome. Yeah, my daughter has been doing a lot of chorus stuff, and the chorus teacher is very excited to have her this year, just based on stuff that she did like during the summer, as well as last year, of course, when she was in elementary. So she's very excited about that. But boy, I tell you, 7th grade girls just was not prepared for this type of stuff. So it has been a trying week. On top of that, work has been special. We had a complete systems outage for the most part for 2 days. 2 days. Like, that's a long time for people to be constantly hitting me up about not being able to print, even though we've sent out several messages saying, hey, this is down. We'll let you know when it's back
Plug
up.
it in.
Like, bro.
Like, my father-in-law just tried to get me to buy a printer for his, this outfit that he's like taking over. And he was like, I'm trying to connect it wirelessly. And I was like, stop. I hate printers and I hate wireless printing. They make cables for this. Yes. For the love of God, everybody, just plug it in. Save everybody the heartache and stress. Just plug it in.
I wish I could just go plug these printers in, but they're
like,
all
it's so much easier.
Printers. Yeah, these, unfortunately, people are like, I can't fax to email. I can't email.
It's so easy. You don't have to do it. You don't have to. You could just network it, and then the network goes down, and then you all realize how useless you all are. And I'm like, nah, you need a printer that you can just plug in. And they even make it easy now. Now you can just put in like a USB stick. You don't even need the cord. And you don't need the cable to the machine anymore.
All the time. I'm like, look, it's down, but if you just scan it to your flash drive, this works, but nobody wants to do that. They don't want it. Just like, bro, I need you to stop this nonsense.
I was trying to tell my father-in-law the same thing. I was like, just stop trying. Just let it alone.
Everything needs to be a PDF. We don't need to print. We don't need any actual physical documents anymore. Like, let's stop this. All right, let's go green.
Anybody that's never had to maintain a network of printers have no idea what we're talking about, but trust me when I tell you it's a nightmare.
I hate
it's just like additional ports on top of additional ports, It's just like, we already have the port.
So unnecessary. So unnecessary. But yeah, so that work has been special. I'm completely understaffed. I still need 3 people. I had 117 applicants for 3 positions, whittled that down to 56. Then I had those 56 take the entrance test, and that whittled it down to 15, which is a good number. 15 is actually
still one short.
Usually it's like 6 to 8.
Wow.
But it went down to 15, which is good. Like, that means I've gotten rid of all the people who really don't know what they're doing. I've got a good solid 15 who have a clue. And from those 15, we'll have our oral board, and I'll be able to pick 3. And hopefully they'll stick around through the background check, because our background check is a full police background, so it can take a long time.
I figured you'd do that on the front end.
No, they don't do any of the background stuff until they've actually been selected as the top 3. Because otherwise,
I guess I'm used to public safety. On the public safety side, like that's at the front.
Yeah,
you got to get through this first. Then we will test your aptitude.
Yeah, we're not running background checks on 106 people.
Yeah.
So yeah, but HR does not like our test. So they were like, no, everybody got this wrong, so we're gonna give them credit for that. So my 15 went to 30. I'm like, you really want to do? You really want to
grade on a curve?
Yeah, I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, the whole point of the test is to weed out the people who don't actually have the technical aptitude to
teach them up, man. Train them up, coach them up.
Nah, I ain't got time for that.
Dev,
I need you to come in here.
Hey, you're a manager.
Get your A+ in 6 months.
You need to make the players around you better. Get a high tide raises all boats.
How to work in the city. I teach you the city. You got to come in here already knowing how to do some of this stuff. All right. So yeah, now I have an oral board of 30 people. Not looking forward to that at all. It's a lot of interviews. So it's going to take, instead of 1 day, it's going to take probably like 3 to get through all that. So that's been work. Other than that, I've been watching a lot of Star Trek.
Still?
Lots. Yeah, I binged all of Discovery and all of Strange New Worlds. So I've completely caught up with all the new Star Trek stuff. There's a new season coming out for this show called The Lower Decks in September. So I'm really excited for that, but it's got me real hyped for Starfield. So when people see me like excited about Starfield, it's because I've been watching a lot of Star Trek and I'm just really
You're feeling it.
Space. Yeah.
I got you.
So
did you see that? Yeah. Did you see Phil Spencer talk about how there will likely be a launch window patch?
Yes, I did see that.
The build is still not final. I don't think there'll be like a final build for that game for like 4 years.
Right. It's like No Man's Sky. It's going to be in beta for 2 years before.
Of course.
Before we get something.
Like, when did we find the final? I would actually like to know, when was the final build of Skyrim?
That's a good question.
Have we had that yet?
Probably not.
Right. No. Like the Switch version of Skyrim has been patched like a half dozen, 18 times. You know, like I don't think that's going to happen.
We'll get the final build of Skyrim when they remaster it on PS6 and Xbox 2. I don't know what the hell.
Golden annual and the golden biannual centennial anniversary edition.
Exactly. So in 2037, we'll have the final build of Starfield.
Well, I'm happy for you and all of my Starfield friends. I hope it's everything that people want it to be.
Yeah, me too.
Bethesda's great. So I mean, I have no doubt that it will be. It'll be,
yeah.
I don't know if it'll be everything everybody wants it to be, but I have no doubt that it'll be very good.
Yeah. So I'm excited to jump into that whenever it happens with some trial of Game Pass of some sort that gives me 14 days to play the game.
Sure.
I'm not buying it.
I'd give you a code, but I'm not doing that.
You gotta hold on to those.
They're important to me now. Like, now they're important to me. That's 3 months of future Call of Duty. I ain't be doing all that. You ain't be just handing them out like candy anymore.
Yeah, not no more.
Especially because they're not doing the deals anymore and all that. Like, they're really started to tighten it down. It's like, oh, I know what you fuckers are doing. I've seen this before.
They changed the trial from a month to 14 days. Like,
oh yeah, I see it.
Nah, doc.
Now everybody thinks I was crazy. Now what? Now look at you.
Right. Look over here like Smeagol with your precious.
I mean, more like Smog with all of the gold. Just like I'm just hiding in my lair. Just keep it myself. I played a bunch of games, Dev. A bunch.
What's the best thing you played?
I say we have a long show. I don't want to talk about a bunch of games that we've played.
Just saying about the best thing you played this week.
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
One of my coworkers would be proud. He kept trying to talk me up about that game. I'm like, I don't care, Ryan. I'm sorry. It's not a game I'm interested in. But I'm glad that you played it and enjoyed it.
I pre-ordered on Fanatical like months ago. And I forgot it was coming out last week. Yarden was on our chat and he was like, Bomb Rush comes out tomorrow. I was like, oh shit, I have a code for that. So I did put it in, and I think this is also probably the most timely game that I can talk about right now. Because it just came out, and I've played it for about 6 or 7 hours, 8. And I think it's very good. Nice. It's a good indie game. I don't think it's very great though. And I think that maybe puts me off a little bit with the rest of the internet, because I've seen a lot of very glowing praise for it. And I mean, I think that's fine. I think what it sets out to do, it accomplishes. It is a Jet Set-ish game. You know, like if you're into Jet Set Radio or like Tony Hawk, you're going to love it. The cel-shaded graphics are great. The visual style is great. The style overall, not even just visually, the game has style.
Nice. From
dialogue to music to how it incorporates into the world. You know, it is very much like that street gang, graffiti, you know, Def Jam kind of feel. That's what it's going for. And it nails that. It does that very well. Pretty cool. It's a cool game. And I think that's where a lot of the popularity is coming from. It's just cool. It's cool to like this game, you know? The loop is pretty good.
Delvin scale of I didn't hate it. Is it somewhere around there, or is it better than I didn't hate it?
Oh no, it's better. It's good. I would, 7. Like, it's good. I like it. The loop is you skate around tagging all of these places where you can tag, and they're pre-identified. And you do that enough to earn rep. And when you get enough rep, then you can challenge the gang of that territory in like little missions. And when you do their missions, then you earn their tags. And then you can use those tags to tag more stuff. And then you do enough of it, you earn enough rep, then you unlock like a boss battle to where you have like a score off, and then you have like a boss fight. And then sometimes in between this loop, like cops will arrive, turrets will pop out, like the city, the government will try to stop you. Man. It's all fun. Music's good, skating's fun. Like if you're into Tony Hawk, you're gonna love the game. It all falls apart though when you start fighting people. The combat sucks.
What is the combat like?
Combat is awful. It's so bad. The boss fights are not great. They're not terrible. Like sometimes they have like quirky. So it's like, all right, so you have like a boss that pops out of the ground or flies or something, and they like throw chains at you to stop you from skating. And then you do tricks to break the chains. And then you do this to get free to like, you ollie to hit them. And when you hit them, like, then something will pop up and then you can like spray paint it. And that's your damaging move, right? It just doesn't feel very good. There's no lock-on mechanics. Like when the police are around, you literally just kind of like flail like little spin kicks and stuff at them. There's no like meters. It doesn't feel good to do. So that's like my biggest gripe with it. And I think it's a huge gripe. I think some people are like, but it's so much fun. It doesn't matter. No, it matters a lot to me because I'm like, I was having fun until you made me do this. The thing though, that I would give people a chance for a hook, including yourself, there's a rad story here, which I did not expect. Like I expected it to just be this, like you just skate around and get scores and maybe no, there's like a real story of trying to be like this all city tagging gang, and like dude's head gets chopped off and like you gotta like get his head. Yeah, like it's very cyberpunky. Yeah. Like I was not here. I did not know that. So
go retrieve the head.
In that regard, Ian's better than most, you know, like, I think honestly, I feel like I should have said this before. It's probably like twice as expensive as it needs to be. It's a high price for what it is. And for most people, I would imagine. I haven't really heard anybody talk about that. Like the YouTubers that I've seen, probably because they all got the game for free. I haven't really heard anybody talk about the price. Dude, it's $40.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, like yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's probably more conditioning on our part, but I think that's a worthy conversation to be had. Do I think it's good enough to be $40? I do. Like there's a lot of love here. There's a lot of effort put into this game. It's better than most. It's very like neon whitish, like in terms of just like quality. I think it's like on that level. Did a lot of people pay $40 for neon white? I don't think so. I don't think they did. So that's probably factoring into like my overall take a bit as well. I don't mind. I didn't pay 40 for it. I had the Fanatical. I think I'm in it for like $32.50. Okay. And just, it's a little, you know, it's a little premium. There's a little premium sticker on that bad boy, but I think it's pretty good and I'm enjoying it. It's pretty fun. I've been playing a lot of games, so I don't know how much I'm going to stick with it though. As cool as the story is, like every time I get one of those, it's funny. Every time I get into the free world, like you can free, all the different areas are segmented off, but you can skate to all of them. Like for the most part, as you unlock them, you can go back to places you've been before. It's not level based. It's like a world, and that's a lot of fun. And as you unlock more things, you'll be able to get to like higher levels, and the platforming and the grinding that you can do to reach new areas. That's my favorite part. Figuring out how to get up there to paint that board. That's my jam.
Know how much you love
that. That's my jam. I'll do that all the time. When I'm doing that,
figure it out.
I'm like, I love this game. And then they threw me a boss battle. I'm like, I could just quit. I could just quit and never play it again, you know? So it's a tug of war for me, even as I'm playing it. Like I could just play something else instead.
Another one of these boss battles.
You can grind upside down, which is neat.
What?
Yeah, it just defies all gravity. Like when you grinding like on a rail, let's say the rail ends into like a street light, like a light pole. You literally just skip and just go up the light pole.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like they have like little subways and stuff that have rails like on the awnings. So you can skate like down the stairs and hit the awning and be upside down and like go in circles and stuff. So it's doing new stuff too.
That's cool.
It's fun. The multiplier I think is the multiplier for the scores I think is challenging too. So I think it's meant to be Jet Set. I think it's doing that well, but I honestly think there's a lot here for people that are Tony Hawk fans. Like if you're a Tony Hawk person, you like doing tons of combos and do like manuals to ollies to grinds and back and forth. Like there's a lot here for you in that regard. Okay. Somebody like Chalfie may really, really like this game. So
nice.
I dig it.
Bottom left, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I do want to talk about Madden because I've played, I've almost exhausted my entire trial of Madden. I don't know how much time I have left. It doesn't tell you every time you log in, but I'm surprised it hasn't ended.
It doesn't tell you?
It just asks like, hey, do you want to play the trial? And I'm like, yeah. And then eventually a screen will pop up and be like, you're out of time. But I've got to be near the end.
I booted up on PlayStation. It tells me how many hours I have left.
Yeah, I don't get that on Xbox. So
interesting.
I've got to be
a regular thing.
I've got to be close. So I've played a lot. Yeah. I've played a lot of Madden this week. And I like it. I think this is the best. I think this is the best Madden has been on new consoles. This might have been the best Madden that's been on the last 2 consoles.
Yeah, that's what I've heard a lot of, like just reading some of the reviews and what some of my friends are saying. Like, yeah, the gameplay is really good. It's so funny reading like all the reviews. All of them say how great the actual gameplay is, but it gets dinged for like so many of these extra modes. I'm just like, but aren't we here to play football? Like, it's just so mind-boggling to me that like the gameplay, the core of Madden, playing the actual football game, everybody's praising it right now. Yeah, there's some bugs and stuff, but that's gonna happen when you have a 9-month development cycle. But those things will be patched out. But everybody's complaining about like the superstar mode and all these other things and Madden Ultimate Team. I'm like, I'm just here to play football. I don't care about none of that shit. Like, it's crazy how much that has made the score dive. Like a 68, but this is the best Madden.
Is that what the score is? I don't know. I haven't seen the scores.
Yeah. I'm just like, that doesn't make any sense to me. You're complaining about.
I think the game is better than that
mode.
But I will say, I don't really like the engine that Madden has been currently built on. I think that's just kind of it. You know, like I just don't really, I haven't enjoyed it since they've done this. I think this is the best version of that. That doesn't mean it's amazing. This is I'm not having an amazing time. I just think it's better. The gameplay enhancements, you know, like the catching and the throw, like that, it's an improvement on last year's. It's not changing. It's more of the same, but it is better. The running game, though, is changed.
Yes.
The running game is much better. It actually feels like you can set up blocks and your lineman will usually take you'll always, I'm sure there's a YouTuber that has a video of how many bad blocking assignments have been taken, but the blocking feels smarter. I feel like I have more space. So the running game is good, which is an improvement. Like that feels, I think that's why I'm playing it so much, because the running game feels so good. But with that offensive line improvement, I do think the offensive line might be a little OP. I only say that because I have yet to complete I'm in the playoffs. That's how much I've played. I'm in the playoffs of my franchise. Jesus. I wanted to try and get to a draft and see how the draft was, because I hated the draft last year. When I'm on defense, which the Browns have like a really good defensive line, it doesn't matter who I'm playing. Good offensive line, bad offensive, they block me. Like it is hard to get home unless you send extra people. So
I've been playing. Who did I play with? I played with the Bengals and I played with the Niners, and I was getting sacks left and right, and I wasn't sending blitzes.
You playing All Pro? Pro?
Yeah, All Pro.
All Pro. I'm playing All Pro too, and no, I'm not. Are you sending extras?
No, I typically don't. I use a lot of zone. I may send a blitz
zone
now and again.
This is interesting because I think zone is garbage this year. Like if you're not running man, you're not running. Like zone is terrible.
Zone is definitely bad if you're not getting to the quarterback, because it's like NFL right now is a passing man's game. So if you ain't getting that quarterback,
this game more than ever feels juiced. This is the first time in years that I've upped the difficulty. So you start on pro. I've upped it to all pro, and then there's like all Madden or Superstar, whatever it is.
All Madden.
Ultimate. And for the first time, I upped it because literally on just whatever it is, regular, normal, is super easy to score. Way too easy. And you can just tell like defenses feel nerfed. Like it's hard to play really good, like knockout defense.
Yeah.
I feel like the best defense is to shoot for turnovers, which I have got a lot of those, because there are like the hit stick feels good again. Like you can really level some hits. And I am finding that they knock the ball loose. If you really crush a running back, more often than not, you'll get rewarded from that. The other day I was playing your 49ers and I got like 3 turnovers on like 3 straight drives. They were just kept losing the ball left and right. And it was just because I was just lowering the helmets, like in open space. So, you know, it's a push and pull. you're probably right. They probably want that. I think that's probably by design. It's probably more fun for people to score than not score.
I think it's that, and I feel like that's the NFL at this point. Like defense is so nerfed in the NFL. You can't hit people the way you used to.
That's true.
Like it's like NFL. Like it's like look at the last year's Super Bowl. It was a shootout.
But I still think the animations make the game feel a bit mechanical, a bit like robotic. It's a bit robotic. Like it just doesn't feel very free flowing to me. Everything just feel like it kind of has like a
locked into some kind of
scripted
animation.
place. Yeah. And I think that's my biggest issue just overall. It's like I don't like the feeling of it a whole lot.
I think for me, it feels less like that because mainly because the catching animations are so much better than they used to be.
Well, there's more of them.
Hitting somebody in stride, they actually
being able to jump catch
and just keep going.
Like being able to jump catch, side catch, like catch and run. Like there's more of them. There are more animations this year. There are more tackle animations. Have you suplex somebody yet?
No, I haven't seen that.
You can if defensive end grabs a little dude, he just grab him and just ragdoll him. Wow. There are more animations, so that helps. Say something nice. Game's beautiful. I think it's as good as it's ever been.
Great.
It's a beautiful game. Franchise mode. I know people don't care a whole lot, so I'm trying to just get through some of my thoughts here. They talked a lot about how great franchise mode is or how much better it is. It's more of the same. What they've really done is they've taken a lot of the options that you had in online franchise mode are now available in offline franchise mode. But they have added some cool stuff. One of the things that I've really enjoyed is you have the ability to change your stadium of your team, as well as completely relocate the entire team.
Relocate them,
and change go full expansion Tiburon, old school. You could just create we're gonna be the Phoenix Coyotes or you could just change the name of the whole damn team. I wish they let you do that for the whole league. And I wish
just remove everybody.
And I really wish that they took 2K's lead and had NFL eras. I think that would make franchise mode so much better. Because it is just kind of the league that you have.
Yeah.
You get mini games, which they made the mini game. I have had fun in the few mini games that I've played. Yeah. Well, have you played Are you playing exhibition or online?
I'm just playing exhibitions right now.
Okay. In franchise mode, all the mini games make up mini camp.
Yeah.
So you just do the mini camp and you can upgrade and skill up all your players by doing that. So I jumped through those.
Madden was that? I can't remember which Madden when they first introduced that, where you had the mini camps and you would be able to actually up your player stats.
Was it 8 or 9?
I feel like it had to be 8. I feel like it's the one with Drew Brees on the cover.
Yeah, 9. That's what I'm thinking. I love the running back drills. I always have. They have spinning, tackle things that spin in circles, and you can lead your defender into them, and then they just get wiped out across. They just get thrown across the field. So I'm having fun with those. But it ultimately is more of the same. I did see a lot of bugs on Reddit. People are talking about especially the early access people, the people that could get in early. They couldn't get in at all. And I understand why you'd be furious about that. I'd be furious about that too.
I paid extra to get into this and I can't even play the game.
The menus are laggy. Super laggy.
Really?
When you're trying to click between in franchise mode, when you're trying to click into the trade center or the manage roster, the manager player, there's this 5-second delay on everything. And it, when you play it longer, the longer you play it, the more, it's problematic.
Yeah. Huh. I have not heard that about it, but I haven't been messed with franchise. I have one of my boys who's been playing online season. He's been doing it for years, and he relocated his team and everything, and he's just all in.
I put the Browns in a stadium, like a dome for the first time with a trackable roof, and I took all of these screenshots of what the Browns would look like in a dome, and I put it on the Browns Reddit because there have been rumors that the new owner of the Browns has been wanting a new stadium. And I was like, guys, this is what because I'm a firm believer. I'm sorry to interrupt you. 2, there are people in Cleveland that are just diehard traditionalists because of where we come from as a founding member. Right. And they're we have to play in an open air grass stadium. And it's dude, we're up against the lakefront It's like 18 degrees there in November. Nobody's having fun. The players aren't having fun. Nobody wants to go. It's like, stop it. And I hear a lot of people are like, it makes us tougher. Like it's an advantage. Like we've lost forever.
Y'all need any advantage you can get. That ain't the one.
Right. So I took these really cool screenshots of like, this is what it could look like a modern real stadium in Cleveland. I think it looked amazing. That took off. I have had like 500 comments been shared around and stuff.
Damn.
Yeah, like a lot of people. There are people that are very divisive on this. I have people told me that I'm an idiot and go kill myself, and I've also seen people that are like, "This is incredible. Like this is amazing." And I do commend Madden for like letting me like live that fantasy. Like to this day, I don't think I've ever seen anything better than like a little toy building. You know, like a picture of a little toy building on a table. Yeah. Like now, I'm like, this is what the game day experience could be like in Cleveland if they had like a better stadium. I think that's pretty awesome. But sorry, you were talking about your friend and he relocated everybody.
Yeah, he's playing in the online league. He relocated his team and everything, and he's just having a blast. And it's a full 32 player like league, like
online league.
Team, online, every team is a person. Just like
I used to do that back in the day.
It's and a lot of fun. I have another friend who's already
trades are also broken in franchise.
They're always broken in franchise.
No. I've set them to easy. I was trying to. One of the things I like is they have all these different settings in franchise. You can set trades and players and all this stuff. So it was on normal, and I was trying to make a trade. Couldn't. So I set it to easy and tried to make a trade. Couldn't. Set it to very easy and tried to make a trade. Every one of those steps, the trade was agreed to. I'd offer the trade. It'd have the full green bar. The other team wanted to do it, and I'd execute it. It'd be like, "Do you want to accept a trade?" I'd be like, "Yeah." And then it just wouldn't. I would go back into my roster. Players still there. I was like, "What is happening?"
Wow.
So yeah, I had to make a different trade. But I was a little bummed.
That screw you, Browns. We don't like you. We don't want to make this happen for the Browns.
I traded Amari Cooper to the Bengals for T. Higgins and a bunch of picks. Like they gave me like 5 picks.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And then there was a funny thing. That was their offer to me, not my offer to them. I wasn't trying to skew. Like they offered that to me, and that's why I kept trying to accept it.
Right.
Yeah, I want the picks.
The game was like, something's wrong here. We shouldn't be allowing this.
I wonder if they have some sort of limit on the amount of picks you have, because I did see in my coffer I have a lot of picks, because the trade that I ended up making to them was the same trade, but for less picks, but higher picks, but less overall. So instead of, they offered me like T. Higgins and like 4 picks, and I took T. Higgins and like 2 picks, and that trade went through.
Weird.
So I was wondering, it's like maybe there's a limit, and they just didn't prompt me like you have too many draft picks. I don't know if that's a thing.
Who knows?
So
yeah, Madden, we're all kind of playing it. Yeah. Well, I got one friend who's played almost 100 online games already.
Wow.
Like, you really
die hard.
Really be playing a lot. I don't understand how you got 100 games in already. It's just insane. Yeah. But yeah, he goes hard in the paint.
I played Starship Troopers.
Yeah, I heard that was kind of meh.
I played it for about an hour and I turned it off. I liked it. It doesn't feel ready for controller. You can play it with controller, but like, are you really playing with controller?
That
feels like keyboard controls mapped to a controller. So I had to adjust a lot of that. I didn't realize, I knew there was base building. I didn't realize how like it is a full blown like city builder on controller. Like you're placing individual walls, forts, and like towers and turrets and ammo crates, and like you are building. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that. Like the gunplay experience is
things.
Yeah, that's not it. You can't do all that. So I'm glad I played it. It was only $15, but I honestly don't see a day where I'll play it.
It's not ready for prime time. All right.
It would have to have like a fully, I did play several of like the little, they have like a tutorial campaign. I played that, but once I started playing like the multiplayer with other folks and you can't play offline. You have to play with other people.
Of course.
You don't have an option to not be in a lobby. It is fun shooting the bugs. Like I did have fun, and it's just like, I only wish this game was the game that I wanted it to be, because like the Starship Troopers stuff, they're nailing, just in a game that I would probably never play.
Maybe Helldivers will be that.
Maybe Helldivers will be that.
We'll see.
But that's it. That's all I really wanted to talk about.
All right. Well, we killed some bugs, we played some pigskin, and now, Donnie, it's time for the news.
So much news.
Oh my god, okay. This is what I wanted, okay? This is the pastels, and this is what I
got. Very
so much news this week as we deal with gamescomania. But before we get into all that, Dev, there was a Destiny showcase. Let us know what's going on in the world of Destiny.
That's part of the news, damn it. You had a little blurb like it was part of Gamescom. It was not. It was its own thing. So I said, you know what, Donnie, you love Forza.
Everything this week is a part of Gamescom.
Out Destiny. No, this is its own thing. The hell with Gamescom. All right, so Destiny got its showcase for its next expansion. It's called The Final Shape. It looks freaking amazing. It's coming February 24th, 2024, and it's the final phase of the Light versus Darkness saga. So we will see an end to this 10-year plan that Bungie had put in place. There's still going to be more Destiny. So this is not the end of Destiny, just the end of like this saga. So we'll see what the next chapter has at some point.
Does the next chapter or saga happen in Destiny 2, or is there another Destiny one day?
We don't know. Okay. We don't know. They have not queued that up. Just that Destiny is not ending. This is just the end of this particular story, this particular saga. So I'm assuming at the end of this, it'll lead into whatever the next 10 years of Destiny will be, if they even decide to keep going that long. But with the Final Shape, we will be going inside the Traveler, which is the big golf ball looking thing. At the end of Lightfall, the main protagonist has been this entire time. His name is the Witness. He cut a portal into the Traveler, a little triangle shaped thing, and we're going to get in there with the help of someone we killed in the previous expansion named Savathun. She was the main bad guy in the Witch Queen. She was the Witch Queen. So we killed her. And then she got resurrected with the same light power that we have. And then we killed her again, which is all apparently part of her plan. So she has a ghost. His name is Abaru. And he's just been chilling. He's like, I'm not reviving her yet. This is all part of her plan. You guys got to deal with some shit. So, yeah, we have to side with the bad guys to face this good guy, or this really
sounds
bad
like
guy.
Diablo.
Yeah, it's there's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, it's 10 years of story, so there's a lot there with all the weaving of the story. But Witch Queen was one of the better expansions. It told a really good story, and this is kind of wrapping up a lot of that stuff there with the Final Shape. So should be good. Cade 6 is back, everybody's favorite hunter. And he's actually voiced by Nathan Fillion again. The last time we heard from Cade, he was actually being voiced by the voice of Nathan Drake. What is his name? I can't remember his name, but he does everything. So, yeah. But now we get Nathan Fillion back doing Cade 6, and it all just feels good. We don't even know how Cade 6 is back because he was killed in Forsaken. But he's back somehow, and he'll be journeying with Ikora and Zavala, the main Vanguard. So they're back. We're gonna
Nolan
take
North,
the bad guy. Nolan North, yes.
I was gonna say Nolan Peter North. When you said it, if you didn't see my face, I was like, I was about to go Peter North, and I was like, that's not right though. No, like in my head, I stopped myself. I was like, that's not it. And I couldn't. For the life of me, I was like, I don't know. Is it Peter? It's not Peter. It's definitely not Peter. I've met him. Yeah, Nolan North.
Yeah, Nolan North. Yeah, who was also the voice of your ghost and fucking everything under the sun. But yeah,
I thought Cade was dead.
Cade is dead. I don't know how he comes back. They have not explained that. We'll find out when the Final Shape releases. But yeah, Cade died, like dead, final death. No resurrecting, no coming back. But somehow he's come back.
But he did. Yeah.
Yeah. So he'll be back in the next expansion, and we'll find out how. But I'm glad to have him back because Cade 6 was dope. He was a good companion. He was like the glue. Like he just held everything together. You got Zavala being an asshole. You got Ikora being all distant, and then Cade just kind of held everything together. So like killing him off, like you felt that. So it's going to be interesting to see him back and what that means. So fun times there. For people who don't play Destiny like religiously, the biggest bar to entry is always like, what the hell am I doing? What's the story? What's going on? So they found a way to try and explain that stuff in game. So no longer do you have to go watch a bike video or go watch just anything online. Like you'll actually have, they're gonna add all the key story missions from various points throughout the actual expansions, surrounded by the actual narrative context in game. So you'll be able to play through all of the main key points in the story. So you'll be able to understand who the Hive are, who the Fallen are, who the Witch Queen is, who the Cabal are. Like you'll get all of these key points in game, like be able to play missions from all the way back. So you'll take you on a nice little journey. It's on this timeline. It's called the Timeline Reflections, to kind of bridge the gap and help everybody kind of understand where we're at going into the final shape. Not just being told the story, but actually being able to play through all that. So
Nice.
I think that'll be really cool for people who either dropped off at some point or have never played Destiny. You'll be able to have a much better cohesive understanding of what the hell is going on in the game and who all these people are. So,
do they have to have the expansion for that?
I don't think so. I don't think it said that you had to have the expansion. I think it's just something that they're adding. Like right now, they have what's called the New Light experience, which you don't have to have any expansions for. It's basically like the intro to Destiny. You get woken up by your ghost, and you kind of go through some of the same story beats that you did like in Destiny 1. And in fact, it's on the original planet from Destiny 1. So Earth is back in that beginner area, and that's what the New Light experience is. This is going to be expanded upon with the Timeline Reflections to go throughout all of the expansions and story stuff that was in D2. It doesn't sound like you'll need the expansions for that. It's just going to be,
and the game's free to play, right?
The game is free to play.
So you could just play it. Like, there's nothing stopping anybody from just jumping in and playing it. That's awesome.
Nope. Yeah, so they'll be adding that within the final shape. Another thing to try to eliminate some of the barriers to getting into the game and playing with your friends, they're going to do a thing called fire team power. So now, like the way it is now, if you're not at level for something, it makes it really hard for you to do it unless you have now somebody who's at level. So as long as you have somebody who's at the power level needed for whatever this mission is, the raid or whatever, it's automatically going to bump everybody else up. So now, having never done a raid, you don't have to worry about trying to grind to get to the power level that the raid is required. As long as you have somebody in your fire team that has that, they'll bump everybody else up and you'll be able to go do that content. They also are finally adding looking.
When you finish that content, do you fall back down?
You probably will go back down, but you're also going to be, while you're doing that content, you're going to be getting items and leveling up through that. So it's going to be another way to kind of power level people probably. So they're doing that. They're also doing the fire team finder. So adding looking for group in the game, fleshing it out more to where you're able to say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. This is the kind of experience I'm looking for. This is my experience, and being able to find groups to do raids with, do dungeons with, things of that nature. Versus the way it is now, most people will go to a bunch of different sites that are run to do the LFG stuff. So now they're putting it all in game, making it so you don't have to leave Destiny to try to find a fire team and get into some of the content. So I think that's good. They're just little quality of life things they're trying to bridge the gap and remove some of the barriers for people to get into the game. And the last thing is, right now we have like the season pass model. Well, seasonal content every couple of months. There's a new season that starts. They're kind of going away from that because right now the way it works is like every season, like the first like 6 weeks, there's just one mission for that first week, and it's the one story mission, and then you go and you do all the ritual stuff. And the next week you got to wait till next week, then you get the next story mission, and so forth and so on. They're going to be changing that and creating like a 3-act structure for each season. So every 6 weeks, there'll be another like 9 acts. So you'll actually be able to play out like an actual like story. So you have act 1, act 2, act 3. So all of these different story beats within that. So there'll be multiple missions. There'll probably be a lot of hidden stuff, different exotics and different gear and things you can go looking for and chasing or whatnot throughout each act, to try to make the story feel more cohesive and not have as many gaps where you're just not doing anything because you've done the one story mission for the week and you're tired of grinding for gear. So trying to do that just based on the community feedback. Like for me, I usually play the very beginning of the expansion and play that story and that season, and then I skip the next 2, and then I'll probably come back at the end of the final season just to see where the story is at. But I end up not playing a lot of the stuff in the middle. So maybe with this, I'll actually play more of it because it'll be more interesting and not just feeling like this endless grind for stuff. Like I'm really here for the story content. I want to see where the story's going. I don't really just want to go do lost sectors and just do a bunch of power grinding. I don't really care about that. I'm just here for the story and the gameplay. And they've changed a lot of the power leveling as well. So like now there's no level increase for each season. So whatever the power cap is, that's what it is. If you reach in the first season, you're good to go, and it makes all the other seasonal content easier. So you're not just endlessly grinding for power anymore.
Yeah.
So pretty good quality of life adjustments. The final shape looks really cool. The new area, it looks awesome. A lot of the weapons.
Oh, the new collector's edition,
cool.
man.
Oh my god.
You're burying the lead.
Edition. Oh boy.
They gave you new cool stuff to buy.
I needs it.
How much is that going to cost you?
Like, it's $275, which is it's only $25 more than what it normally is. Normally $250, and I've got several of them. Like, it's the only game that I actually buy CEs for. Like, I have a shelf of Destiny stuff. I've got so much damn Destiny because I just love the way all of it looks. So the collector's edition is $275 this year. It comes with a very nice light up version of the original tower from Destiny 1. You get characters of the original Vanguard. So you get Cade, Zavala, and Ikora. They all light up. They go on the thing. It's got all kind of hidden compartments and stuff from what it looks like. And yeah, I'm gonna need that in my life. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to get the stupid edition.
Or start mowing some lawns.
Needs it. Mowing some lawns. Give me a
lemonade stand.
Lemonade stand, get the newspaper route, and do some Uber and some Lyft. Just do it all. But I'm really excited. I'm always excited.
Nice.
Destiny, it's one of like the games that I truly, truly love. I was listening to the soundtrack of the original game. That soundtrack is amazing. And it just kind of like I fell in love all over again. Like I really, really, truly loved my time with D1, the beginning of D2, and just like all the friends that I've played with. It holds a really special place. So I really get excited for these expansions, and just to kind of see a culmination of all of that, it's really exciting. So I am here for it at the end of February. I can't freaking wait. Even this new season that they have, really cool. It's the season of the witch. It's spooky season. Every Halloween they do like a whole Halloween thing that you would appreciate. It's really spooky.
I like that was my favorite thing about Overwatch. Yeah, I haven't played a whole lot about Overwatch, but my favorite thing that I did play was the Halloween events.
Yeah, they go big with the Halloween event, and this whole season is like it's the witch. It's season of the witch, so it's spooky, and I think it's so far it's been really nice. So really digging Destiny right now.
You ever seen Season of the Witch? Either of them?
No, didn't know that was an actual thing.
Yeah.
No.
You've got I was gonna say, is it Craven? Romero. That's right. The original Season of the Witch by Romero. But when you talk about Season of the Witch, I have Craven on my mind. The reason that when you hear Season of the Witch from horror movie fans, they are typically referring to Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which is a movie in the Halloween timeline about Michael Myers that doesn't have Michael Myers in it at all. And it's a bizarre sequel. It might be one of the most bizarre sequels of all time. That it's a cult following. People hated it on release. I particularly don't think it's very good, but in like concept, it's kind of great. It's one of and I think horror movies, at least for me, and I'm sure everybody probably feels this way about movies, genre movies they like, but in horror movie fandom, there's a whole thing about movies that are conceptually great, but like maybe not great movies, like not executionally poor, but conceptually great. Season of the Witch is kind of conceptually great. So like if you can get past the fact that it was named Halloween, you get past the fact there's no like if you can get past all of the things that everybody hated about it and actually just enjoy the movie for what it is, like it's kind of awesome. It's about like an evil corporation that like poisons all these masks and like consumer products that hands out to the kids. Like,
damn,
yeah, it's pretty good.
That's so funny. When I Google Season of the Witch, I get all the Destiny stuff. And
do you really?
The Nicolas Cage movie.
What?
Yeah, there's some Nicolas Cage movie that came out in 2000 called Season of the Witch.
Yeah, with Ron Perlman. What is that about? 3 women accused by a priest of witchcraft. Okay. That is something. No, I was talking about the 1920s what is it, 1973 season of The Witch, which is the good one by George Romero.
That is not at all on any of this when I scroll down.
That's crazy.
It's all Destiny stuff, but it's my computer. It knows what I want to see.
PlayStation has lifted the veil on the PlayStation Portal, formerly Project Q. Will be sold at $199.99. Pre-orders will open soon. It features a 60 hertz 8-inch LCD display with touchscreen areas that can mimic the DualSense touchpad commands. We've had hands-on videos go up. IGN and everybody's had it. I have taken quotes from CNET, and I'll just read a couple of them here. To my eye, the visuals look sharp and crisp. While I was quite happy with the display, the Portal is light, probably somewhere between a Switch and a Steam Deck. No definitive battery life was given, but the company's targeting something similar to the DualSense. One noticeable difference is that the analog stick pads are a little smaller than the one on the DualSense. The rep told me they're actually the same sticks found on the PSVR 2 controllers. I like their write-up. I thought their write-up was a bit more detailed than I only perused like 2 or 3 of them, but the other ones were kind of generic. They seemed to throw in a little bit more. It's worth pointing out that games that you stream on your PS5 are not compatible with the Portal. So if you're in the PlayStation Plus that streams PlayStation 2 games,
if you're in the beta,
right,
it does that.
And the upcoming PlayStation 5 games that you can stream, you won't be able to stream those on the Portal.
You can't stream and stream again.
Let me ask you this. And I think I know the answer to this, but just since this is like the talk, like let's put this down confirmation wise. When they announced PlayStation 5 streaming games, there won't be games that you can stream that aren't included in the PlayStation Plus that you could just download, right? Streaming is just an option.
I think it's kind of both. It's games that if like I think they said if you don't want to wait to download them,
right, it's an option.
Stream them,
right. So like I know one of the streaming games is like Sackboy. Sackboy is included in just like the Plus collection too, right? Like if you have that level, isn't it the highest level you need to streaming, whatever that's called?
I believe so.
PlayStation Plus Premium.
Like, yeah, I don't know why I want the like. That's so weird that it's in the premium because the premium really only gives you a bunch of like PS1 games. Like I don't get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you have to have that one to be able to have the streaming, and it's games that are already in the service.
Yeah, I figured it'd be games that's already in the service.
Yeah.
So I 100% believe like they can't be streaming a game to your console that's also trying to stream the same thing to your Portal. That's why this is the thing. But I do realize that it is kind of counterintuitive that you've bought this device that is only for streaming, but you can't stream the games that are only streaming. But that is a point that people should know about. Also, they announced the headphones. You get earbuds for $200 and the Elite headset for $149.
Yeah.
Before we talk about the Portal, what do you think of the headset?
It's like I remember when they had the Pulse headset and they had the Pulse Elite. This is the same thing of that.
No. I'm just. What do you think? Did you see it?
I saw it. It looks
it's very like Avatar-ish, like the way it sits in like curves around somebody's head. I was like, that's.
It looks
not
like
for me.
Like the headset that they already have. The headset I feel like is the same thing.
Is it? I just figured they had like a white standard headset, like just went down. Like this thing, like literally, it's like almost like an elvish helmet or something. I was like, what is going on with these headphones?
Yeah.
So, what do you think of the? What do you think of the Portal? PlayStation Portable. Get it?
I mean, it to me, it's if you're somebody who wants a backbone or is looking for that, really somebody who's looking to just use remote play to be able to play your PlayStation somewhere else. Like that's who this is for. It's fine. I think by creating this, you get the DualSense experience, which is much better than using a backbone or setting it on the TV or setting your phone or tablet on a stand and using the controller.
From a tactile standpoint, you might be right. I like the backbone that they have like their own operating system that like launches when you do it. I think that's really neat.
Yeah. See, I don't care about none of that. I for me, it's more about the controller feel, like the DualSense. Like I love the way the DualSense feels. I don't want to use a backbone. I don't want to even have to use my phone. So I think this is nice where you have like a much larger screen. You eliminate all the any kind of extra stuff, and it's something that literally you turn it on, it turns on your PlayStation.
Yeah,
So
that's neat.
you're eliminating a lot of that, a lot of the
I wonder if you can
extras.
do that when you're not on the same Wi-Fi.
I imagine it still would. It just like if you are not on the same Wi-Fi with your remote play, it has to establish a connection first. So I'm imagining
Sure.
you boot it up and you're on Wi-Fi, it's gonna do the same thing, looking for a connection, and then it turns it on.
Can it turn it on, or is it just wake it up out of like standby?
Well, that's a good question. I don't think the PlayStation has wake on LAN if it's off. It probably still has to be in standby.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure they'll have setup that walks you through the settings for that.
Yeah, but it's cool. I think the price is good. It's not overly expensive.
Yeah, I think we all thought it was going to be. I mean, we said this when the rumors came out. I said the sweet spot for this was $199, and then they hit it. This is $199. It's a sweet spot. It's a nice spot for them to be in. I think they're going to sell a lot more of these than people want to give them credit for.
I agree.
I've said that since this was announced, when everybody hated it. Like I've said that since then. I believe in the idea. I still think it's ugly as all get out, but I don't think anybody cares.
No.
Even when I saw like CNET, they had a video where you could watch them play. I didn't like how obviously the thumbsticks and the dual sensor where they are, right? They seem oddly close to the screen. Like really close, like your thumbs might get in the way, like really close. When I saw him like move the stick towards the screen, I was like, oh, that's too close.
I wonder if they did that on purpose to make it easier to get to the touchscreen.
I think. Oh yeah, no, for sure. And I actually think that's maybe why they're using smaller sticks. Because I think when they probably had original sticks, they're like, we can't do this. This is too much. But no, I believe in the Portal. I believe in the idea. I think they'll definitely sell more of these than they will PlayStation VRs for sure. And it's not even just about the price. I wouldn't be surprised if they sold 10 times more of these than the VR. They'll sell a lot of these.
Yep,
I've seen it. I've seen it already today. There are a lot of people that seem to be, changing course correcting on this. They all hated it. They hated it when it's not, and I don't point this out to pat myself on the back as much as I point out that like when this was rumored, people were like, this makes no sense. Who's this for? Like, this is irrelevant. This is dumb. And then it comes out and it gets a price, and all of a sudden people are like, I might play on my couch. And it's like, well, that was always going to be the case. Yeah. This isn't a Switch competitor. It's not a deck competitor. It's not what you wanted it to be. And that's why you were angry. But once you get over that, are you going to buy it to play on the couch when, your kids are using the TV or your wife's using? Yeah, you are. Everybody will. And so far, it seems like everybody is. Like everybody's like, can't wait to
y'all got to stop putting your PlayStation on the family television. Stop that. Get your own.
That's true.
Product. Like every time I see it, I'm like, why am I letting the kids have the TV that the PlayStation's on? No. Don't do that. Have it in somewhere else where you don't have to share the television. Please.
Yeah.
Please. If you can do that, do that.
I'd be interested to see once it goes out for review. I would like to see some impressions. If I had a PlayStation 5, I think I'd be interested in one. But I'd like to see if the remote experience is better than like the current remote experience in any tangible way. I'd love to see somebody side by side with a backbone. And just because I feel like they wouldn't be doing this if they didn't like thoroughly comb through the pipeline and identify like the best possible setup to make streaming work. Yeah. And I think that's what this is.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like everybody's experience with remote play is so incredibly varied. So you gotta wonder, like, what did they do with this to try to alleviate that? Like, I know you've had a bad experience with remote play. It doesn't really work well. Like,
it's never really from Vita
Rob 3000.
Yeah, from Vita to PS4 to the G Cloud to Android tablets to Chromebooks. Like, it's never really. That's why I like PlayStation Now. Like, streaming from the cloud was better than my remote play. Remote play would work for like 5 minutes, and then it would start artifact. It would seem like it would just start to suddenly fall apart.
Yeah, that's so crazy because that's been the opposite of my. I played Destiny on my lunch breaks when I was working for NBC Universal. Like, I would go out, I'd hop on our Wi-Fi, and I would be playing Destiny on my phone with the DualShock 4 hooked up to it with like very minimal barely noticeable lag, like playing Destiny, no problem. I remote play from work every now and again. I'll log in just to do a daily mission or do something in Destiny or some other game or whatnot. Haven't really had any like terrible experiences with it. I mean, I've even remote played from like Houston. So like I'll be at a friend's house on their Wi-Fi and I'll remote back into my PlayStation and play, and it was fine. So everybody
on the Vita, I chalk it up to being early. On the G Cloud, I chalk it up to being unsupported. Like it wasn't supported. You had to have like a third-party app to run it.
Yeah.
You know, so I probably didn't have the most ideal setup, at least recently. Yeah. You know, but on the G Cloud, I was sitting in the chair in front of my PlayStation 5 and it was no bueno.
That's just crazy. Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, the Portal doesn't have any use case for me.
I expect it to be and the reason I said I expect it'll be better. Like I think it'll blow. Yeah. I think that's what I'm expecting to see. Is there'll be people that pull out iPads and they'll pull out their phones and then they'll run this next to it and we'll get comparisons and they'll be like, the latency on this is markedly improved. Yeah. I don't think they'd be doing this. I don't think they'd be making this device if it wasn't. Maybe that's me putting too much faith in them, but I don't think so. I think they realize that they could do it better than relying on phones. And I think that's what this device is for.
Absolutely. I mean, when you dedicate anything to one single thing, it's going to be better than the thing that does a bunch of other stuff. Like you eliminate all the background noise, all the crosstalk. If it's just dedicated for this one thing, then you can put all your resources towards it and usually it'll be a better experience. So I think that's what we'll see.
Do you think, I haven't seen anybody say this yet. When I first saw the name, I started to read a lot into it. Would you extrapolate anything from the name Portal? No, when I saw they named it the PlayStation Portal, in my head, my first thought, I was like, I wonder if that'll be like the new Now. Like that'll be what it's called, Portal. Like I went cloud service. And it seems interesting because this device seems to, there are people in camps that are like, they're doing this, a remote play because they hate cloud. And there's other people that are like, they're doing this because they're readying a cloud solution. I'm still on that side of the fence. I think there will be a PlayStation Cloud offering at some point to people. And I don't know why, but yeah, Portal makes it sound like, PlayStation Portal to Portal into PlayStation. I think it's more than just this. I mean, the name evokes a sense that there's more to it than just this device. But to me, I could just be reading too much.
When I hear Portal, it's just a look into something else, and that's exactly what it's doing. It's just a portal into your PS5. So that is exactly where my brain went. Maker of Chaos is talking about the lack of Bluetooth. Again, I think they did that on purpose because then they could eliminate crosstalk and feedback and everything.
Well, it still works I think they did it to sell their other headphones. It works with the Link stuff, right?
Yeah, it has that.
So the new stuff works. So like I think they want you to just buy their own headphones, I think is more than anything like that. But you might be right. It also might be the Bluetooth.
Yeah. You eliminate all of that extra stuff. It makes for a more streamlined experience. The Link thing is interesting that they would only do that and also the 3.5 headphone.
Yeah, jack. You got the jack. You can always just plug in. So they're probably like, we want you to buy our thing so we can, because dude, the headphones and controllers, that's where they make so much money. There's so much overhead on those. So they're like, if we can get 25% of the people that buy the Portal to buy our headphones, like we're making up, like we're making overhead on those. So that's probably why that's the case.
And that's Sony's MO. They always create like their own proprietary stuff anyway. Like that's just
Walled
what
garden.
Sony does.
Yeah.
They absolutely do that. And this device is for the PlayStation people, the people who love PlayStation, who probably already have one of those headsets, who are probably already looking to get one earbuds or going to get one.
And to your credit, Bluetooth is problematic with latency. Yeah. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
So they probably tested it. If they tested it and they were like, without Bluetooth, it works 15% better. They're like, well, then scrap it.
Yep.
I think I said this in the Discord. By them readying this product and like trying to do this, a cloud solution instead of a native handheld, I have the impression that like Mark Cerny and the gang sat down and like walked this thing backwards. And they went through, and I mean like wireframe from tablet to switch to network adapter to Wi-Fi to router to console. And they were like, how do we make this work as good as possible.
Yep.
And I think that's why we're seeing it's remote play only. It doesn't have Bluetooth. I think all of these concessions are to make the remote play rock solid as it can be, as possible.
Yep. They're trying to make a premium remote play experience.
Yep.
And by eliminating all this other stuff, that's how they create it.
They want you to be like, it's like playing on my PlayStation
5. Exactly.
That's it. That's all they really, that's the aim. So I think it's pretty cool. I've thought that since the get-go. I think as it catches on and people play it, and especially if it works like we think it does, if it doesn't work really well, then, everything goes out the window, but I think it will. If it does, then, and the word starts to go around, they could sell some.
Oh yeah. I think you'll see a lot more.
They could sell 10 or 20 million of these. I don't think people have that in their head yet. Like they easily could sell 20 million of these.
People don't realize how many people have PlayStations. Like there's a lot of PlayStations out there. And if you can kind of take your PlayStation on the go with just some Wi-Fi and a controller like that, I think you'll see a lot more of these sold than you would think, especially if it works as well as we think it might. So
yep. But we also have Gamescom, which is going on right now. They're the giant video game festival over there in Germany. And we kicked off Gamescom with the opening night live show with Jeff Keighley, which they showed a bunch of games, of which I have a giant list of things. I'm not going to talk about all of these things. But before we talk about or shout out any of our favorites, what did you think of the show?
Oh, I didn't really.
You didn't watch it?
Because it was at 11 o'clock, so I was at work and I was in and out.
Oh, I got you.
And I didn't have a chance to catch like the replay of everything. So I just kind of was in and out catching some stuff. So I saw some things. It was cool.
I watched the show because of the hand issue. I was just like, I want to try to give my hands a rest. I was like, I'll just watch this show instead. And I loved it for all the wrong reasons. Dev, it was gloriously awkward and weird, man. Like it was very... It was like a flashback as to why we don't do these anymore. I mean, it was, well, let's just start off at the top, which probably be the biggest news story. Somebody just like jumped on stage again and just started interrupting him and started talking to the camera. He was like, Bill Clinton wants to play GTA 6 the whole time. Jeff is like, wow, guy, you're really going to do this? Such a disappointment. And it's like, how many more of these experiences have to happen before somebody, like, I thought about making like a meme of putting Jeff Keighley behind like the glass at like a gas station counter, it's like, join us for opening night live, because it's like, dude, come on, man. Like, I don't know what to do. Like maybe definitely a better seating arrangement, like maybe devs and partners up front so you can catch a person trying to run up there from farther away. But definitely a better security presence. The security that came out and got that guy looked like a joke. I was like, is that a security guy? Is that Jeff's friend? Like, how about real security that'll let them know that if you do this, you're going to have a bad time?
Yeah. Just like it feels way too intimate. There's just no reason for that.
Yeah, it was
just nonsense.
Rough. But outside of that, I was enjoying it for the other parts. There were so many like weird pacing interviews that felt just very unscripted and unrehearsed, and nobody really knowing like when to go or where to go. The Fort Solis guy came out with this terrible joke that just failed on arrival. Like as soon as it left his mouth,
much like the game,
the whole arena was quiet as could be. And I think he thought it was really funny. And it was about seeing Troy Baker's ass. And he was like, I've seen, he was naked. And there was just like crickets. And I was like, oh yeah, this is what E3 used to do. It was, yikes. There were several moments during the show. I didn't write them all down. I don't remember them all, but there were multiples, 5, 6, 7 moments where I was like, what the hell's happening? Like, what is this? What a wild event. Like, this is crazy. I had forgotten this feeling. So I had fun. Just relishing in the weirdness.
We need more of the weird, unscripted, just stuff happens.
Well, with E3, I think it was more fun because a lot of those moments came out of games. I felt like less of those moments came out of games. It was just interviews. But even the interviews were just strange.
Yeah.
It was a lot of, like, they would interrupt each other. They would talk at the same time and then not talk. It was more like that. I was like, Jeff, did you say anything to any of these people? You're like,
Was
hey
there
man,
a
we're about
rehearsal?
to. Yeah, like even not even rehearsal. Like while they're showing the trailer, but like, all right, man, you're about to go up. I'm gonna ask you this question, and then you reply. Like it seemed like there was none of that. It seemed like somebody was like, "Here's the microphone."
Have at it.
It was quite the experience. But all in all, I don't want to say a great show in terms of content like the offering. There was a lot of games shown. I'll give it that. It was a long, to the point that like towards the end, I honestly was like, dude, let this end. Why is this going on? Like, please end this already. But it was pretty fun. I wrote down a bunch of stuff. Like I said, we're not going to read them all. Is there anything on here that you particularly want to shout out or talk about? I know you really like that movie trailer.
Yeah, man, Rebel Moon looked cool.
Yeah, Zack Snyder came out of nowhere and was like, "Hey, everybody!" And that was one of the things. He's like, "I'm a gamer." I was like, "Are you?"
Yeah, like
we get a lot of that at these shows when celebrities come out, But yeah, he has a movie, Rebel Moon. It's getting 2 parts. It's coming to Netflix, and they're making a game
for Netflix.
For Netflix. Super Evil Megacore will be developing a 4-player co-op action game that'll be exclusive to Netflix subscribers about the movie.
No, thank you. I have no desire in that, but Rebel Moon looks cool. I guess Zack Snyder was originally supposed to do. He pitched something to Star Wars for a Star Wars movie that they rejected, and so he made this instead.
I love Zack Snyder because of Dawn of the Dead. I think most of his flicks for me have been hit or miss. But I like more of them than I think I don't. So, I mean, I'm open to, I have Netflix, like maybe I'll give it a watch. It just looked batshit crazy. I mean, it looked like that trailer looked like I saw 10 movies. There was a ton of movies and a ton of actors and a ton of cast and a ton of people that looked like main characters. And I was like, it seemed like a lot. Like, this seems like a lot.
2 parts.
So yeah, it is in 2 parts. Charlie Hunnam's in it. From Sons of Anarchy fame. I saw him somewhere in there, I remember. I was going to tell my wife that and make fun of him. Maybe he'll have a terrible accent. He keeps taking these roles where he has accents. It's pretty funny.
I'm trying to think. I mean, outside of things that I've already been excited for, like The First Descendant and what was the other one that you and I both were like, oh yeah, this is the one. Crimson Desert,
yeah, we've been on that one for a couple of years. It's like Assassin's Creed, it's very much like Assassin's Creed, like kind of like Valhalla. It's very similar to that, but also like way more than that too. Like it's doing its own like economy and things on top of that. It's almost like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, like the JRPG, sort of. So yeah, I remain interested in that, and if it ever comes out, who knows?
Right.
I think a lot of people just found out about that game. They're like, "Oh man, did you see this game?" I was like, "I remember that game.
Long time ago."
I remember Dev and I talking about the game. What's like 2020? I mean, it's been a long time since we first saw that
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
They did show Starfield, and Todd Howard was there. It was a big moment. Like he came out and talked about Starfield.
Yeah, I missed that. Wasn't that? Didn't they debut like the live action trailer there or something?
There was the trailer. There was also a musical performance. He came out and played the music for it, so we had that moment. Jeff likes to usually get in some sort of musical act.
Yeah,
that was another one of those weird things where they had the interview. The interview was going good, and then Jeff like cuts to the next trailer, and out of nowhere, Todd Howard's like, "We can't wait for you to play the game." Like he like tried to get it in like at the last second. Really set the stage for what this is about to be.
Oh boy.
Let's see here. I'll just read off a few. So Black Myth Wukong got another trailer. People are hyped for that game. That game looks insane. It
looks incredible, but it does. Gonna be hard and
it's gonna be super hard. It's like if Platinum made an awesome Dark Souls game.
Yeah. Like I want to play that, but if there's gonna be a stamina meter, nope.
I can't. It's the same thing with Armor Core. Yeah. Saw a review earlier and they're like, this game is hard. I was like, never mind.
I'm good.
I don't have the energy in me anymore. Killing Floor 3 is coming out. Ice-T unveiled a Payday 3 heist mission.
Oh my God. Our chat with Haley.
Well, that was entertaining, but like good for Payday. They're like, we'll just pay Ice-T to do this. Mirage got another trailer. Oh, Tekken 8 is coming out January 26th, and they have a new arcade mode that like apparently incorporates like little Mii's, like little avatars, like Connect game. That was strange. That was really out there. We got a full walkthrough of the first Call of Duty mission. And
was it the first mission, or was it just the first like?
I think I thought they said it was the first mission.
I thought it was the first open combat mission.
It might be the first open combat mission.
Yeah.
Call of Duty looks incredible. It always does.
It does. Yeah.
But it does look incredible. I want to keep giving them credit where credit is due. It looks great. Like visually, it looks spectacular. And then today they came out. PlayStation Early Access will begin on October 6th and 7th, and the beta on the 8th and the 10th. And then everybody else will get access to Early Access on the 12th and the 13th, and the beta on the 14th and 16th. So you get that 1 week early into the beta stuff if you're going to play Call of Duty. Yeah. Played the beta last year. I don't think I'd play it again if it's just going to be more multiplayer, so I'll probably just wait for the game. October's too busy to be... October's way too busy to be messing with betas.
Yeah, nah, we don't need no beta multiplayer. Nah,
they should have done beta in like September or something, like October. Mm-hmm. Don't you realize all these games that are releasing?
You want me to play this Call of Duty? I mean, but here's the thing. Those Call of Duty people are just playing Call of Duty anyway, so it works out for them just fine.
They're going to play it. Nightingale finally got a release date, February 24th. Avium got another trailer. There was a point where they did trailers back to back for Zenless Zone Hero, Honkai Star Rail, and Genshin Impact.
You mean the Garrett hour?
It felt like an hour for Garrett. Like it felt so long. I was like, "Whoa, talk about a lull in this show." It's like somebody like mix it up, guys. They were like, "We got to get our video game diversity moment in." Please stop.
It's like, why? Another one?
Another
one? Oh,
another one.
Still going.
Lords of the Fallen got a trailer. We got Sonic Superstars trailer, followed by Sonic Frontiers story expansion, comes on September 28th. That's also a rough time to be dropping expansion, but maybe one day I'll come back to it. The Fort Solis moment came out. Troy Baker was out there. They talked. They also on the production of the show, they cut in and zoom into Troy Baker for his response interview. I think they called him Roger Clark or something, like they completely get the wrong. I'm telling you, there were so many moments, like multiple moments like that. It was something, man. And I don't mean to I'm not being a hater. I enjoy these parts of the show. It's just, he's talking about, what is it? The Game Awards, like his 10th anniversary. He's done opening night live for multiple years. Right. Like the production that they want it to be to sell commercials and stuff. It just feels disconnected from like what it wants to be and what it is, I guess, is more or less the point I'm trying to point out.
Like we can't even blame this on COVID.
Right, yeah. People are stoked, Dev, for Expeditions Mud Runner. So that's coming out next year. People love that truck game, that's where you go out there and do all the missions and stuff. So people were pretty pumped for that. Yeah, that's a thing.
What the hell is Expeditions Mud Runner? What
was the last game? I forget what it's called. Snow Runner, I think is what it was called. Isn't that what it's called?
Oh, it's one of those things.
This is the next Snow Runner. And it's all about like mudding and trucks and stuff, and people were really hyped.
Interesting.
I actually am excited about this one. So the Crew Motorfest had a trailer, right? And you're like, okay, no big deal. They have announced that there'll be a full 5-hour trial for every platform in the game releases. So everybody will get to play the Crew Motorfest on release day. So that does two things for me. One, lets me get my taste because I want the Crew, but I don't want to buy the Crew. Two, and probably more importantly, lets me test PC. Because when I eventually do play the Crew, I want to play on PC, but as somebody who played the beta, it was a disaster on PC. It was an absolute train wreck. So I would like to... I would like to... No, it was worse. It was unplayable. The game did not run on PC. And I have a good one. It did not even function. Like it barely moved. So I would like to try a more optimized version on release before I even consider buying it or buying it on sale or getting Ubisoft Plus, because I'm kind of interested in it. I do want to play it. They have like this Japanese level that looks incredible. I really want to play it, but I couldn't play it.
Boo.
Marvel Snap's coming to Steam, or launched on Steam. It's on Steam. You can play Marvel Snap on PC now.
No, thank you, friends.
Stormgate, Diablo, Alan Wake 2, Mortal Kombat 1 got a new trailer, and I'm not sure if I didn't think it was the same trailer, but maybe I wasn't paying attention. But I saw a new trailer today or this morning. If it's the same, like a story-based trailer with all the different characters, looked incredible. Like really looked. I'm not a super Mortal Kombat guy. I was like, this looks awesome.
I just want to watch all the cutscenes.
Yeah, exactly. Cyberpunk got a trailer where they detailed all of the things they've changed to the core gameplay. So they're respecking all of the characters, they're redoing all of the weapons. They've got new driving mechanics. You can actually have driving combat now. They said they have like new procedural missions and random encounters, and there's a ton of things.
There was no driving combat? You couldn't shoot when you drive?
Yeah, you couldn't shoot while you drive. Yeah. I think there were scripted moments where you could shoot, but you couldn't just on your own. Yeah, there is that moment. I know what you're talking about. There are moments where like the game throws you in to shoot this car while you're driving, but you could not just randomly shoot while you were driving.
Your gun, like in GTA, just bust the window.
Yeah.
Did they add
Cyberpunk
a third person mode?
Cyberpunk looks dope. I will be replaying Cyberpunk instead of playing Starfield, I think. So I'm excited.
Good trade-off.
And it looks like it'd be interesting to see if people like, do you think outlets will try to re-review Cyberpunk?
I think they should.
I mean, it's a drastically different experience.
This is probably the Cyberpunk we thought we were going to get. So I think it would be one of those things where it'd be nice to go back and re-review it. And see how people take to it. I'm curious. Like I want to love Cyberpunk so bad, but there's some disconnect that I just can't quite get into it, but I really, really want to. I love the world, the aesthetic, what they're doing, but for some reason, like I can't gel with the gameplay. So I will try again. When
is it like the guns or the movement or the hacking? Is there a specific reason or
it's all of it. And everything just feels disconnected to me in first person. There's something about it being in first person. This is just a perspective. What you're doing just doesn't work. Yes, it's a perspective. It just something doesn't feel right for me. So it's hard for me.
But you like Far Cry.
I do like Far Cry.
Because I played Cyberpunk a lot like Far Cry. It was like
and see that's similar. The thing. I don't want to play Cyberpunk like Far Cry. Like for me, I want to do more melee stuff. And I think that's where I'm having the disconnect. I don't want to use the guns as much.
Oh, I'm doing that. That's my motive on the replay is I want to do more melee focused combat. They talk about you can like block bullets and stuff now. In the trailer, this dude with his gigantic hammer that like came down and just smashed like a whole group of people. It's like, that's what I need to do. I need a hammer guy.
Be you. I need katana guy. I want to go and use a katana.
Got tons of katanas.
Up. I know, but I don't want to do it in first person. It just doesn't feel right. That's my disconnect. I
think you didn't play Red Steel when I played Red Steel and how great it was.
Absolutely didn't play Red Steel.
Man, if there was a game to be remastered, that's gonna be my next one on my wish list. Every time all these games I've loved forever getting remastered, that's next one. I want Red Steel, baby. PSVR 2 exclusive, I'm all in. Buy the whole console and the headset and everything.
Okay.
Did you ever play Red Steel?
No, I did not. Wasn't it on the Wii?
Yeah, it was on the Wii.
Then I didn't play Red Steel.
I honestly, I have made this joke for years, but I believe it. It'd be a great PSVR game. I'm kind of shocked Ubisoft hasn't jumped on that yet. You know, like if they did Red Steel for Quest, I'd buy a Quest. I absolutely would buy a Quest. That'd be so much fun. The last thing that I wrote is an announcement that happened at Gamescom, even though it wasn't a part of like the showcase, is that PDP has released a new set of controllers that they're calling Realms. I posted several screenshots of these in the Discord earlier. For anybody that hasn't seen these, they've fallen below the radar. There are see-through controllers that have like dioramas in them, and they're putting figurines in like the grip. And they have one for Sonic, so you can have like Sonic and Tails and Knuckles. And they said that they're going to have an Optimus Prime one soon. And there's a Pikmin one being planned for release this fall or this winter. So I obviously wanted to include that for Delvin. I think he would love them. But I think other people would too. Sure. And it'd be cool if they do other ones. I'm not a fan of the PDP controllers, but for cool collector's reasons, you know, I might.
Sounds like one looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it does. Moving on. Remedy delayed Alan Wake 2 by 10 days to avoid clashing with the release of other games. So
delayed it from when to when?
I didn't write down the date. So they said October is an amazing month of for game launches, and we hope this date shift gives more space for everyone to enjoy their favorite games.
So it was going to release October 17th, and they decided to release it October 27th.
27th.
I don't know that helps in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, you might be able to beat Spider-Man before then.
Now, instead of Spider-Man, it's after Spider-Man. You know what? Kyle, you were worried about this. You were like, I need more time for Alan Wake.
They gave you more time.
Does this solve your issue? Does this solve it? So you can get Spider-Man on the 20th?
So personally, I was planning on playing Alan Wake on Halloween anyway. Just seems like that lines up better. But also, like I was playing Mirage. Like in my order of operations, I was going to get Mirage first, play that, and then hopefully finish that before Halloween in time for Alan Wake 2. So this lines up perfectly for me, but I am not juggling Spider-Man like everybody else. Right. So, you know, I welcome the delay. I was like, thank you. This is perfect.
Y'all got to stop juggling games and just play things casually.
You got to start juggling games.
Play everything.
You got that's my favorite thing about gaming is trying to play. I don't play everything. I'm not trying to play everything. I'm not playing Spider-Man. I'm not playing Starfield. You cannot say that I play everything. I'm actively skipping the biggest releases of the year.
How many other games are you playing though?
How many games have I skipped though? But how many games have I skipped?
And Starfield.
I didn't play Diablo. Up your alley. I didn't play Diablo. I'm not playing Baldur's Gate 3. I'm not playing Armored Core.
How many games did you play this week?
I played a lot this week.
Exactly. That's my point.
But I like it. That's what makes me happy. So that's a good week.
Yeah. Well, one game kind of guy. I'm just going to play one until I'm done. I cannot juggle games. It does not work for me.
We have news from across the sea from the CMA. Xbox has agreed in principle to divest their cloud streaming rights of Activision Blizzard games to Ubisoft for distribution worldwide.
Worldwide?
So, worldwide. This is not a UK only thing, which I think is surprising people. The cloud streaming rights for all current and future Activision Blizzard games will be transferred to Ubisoft for 15 years. This is effect worldwide, not just the UK. Ubisoft will then license those games back to Microsoft so that they can be included in Xbox Cloud Gaming, but they cannot be exclusive to Xbox Cloud Gaming in the UK. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
The deal is being brokered by a single payment from Ubisoft to Microsoft, but there are additional revenues agreed upon based on playtime. So if certain games really take off in the cloud, then Microsoft has the ability to recoup more of that revenue from Ubisoft.
Wasn't the whole thing to not have one person or one entity do all that? So how does this solve that?
So Ubisoft will then be able to, so the way this is going to work, Ubisoft will own the streaming rights to Call of Duty and World of Warcraft and whatever else they want to do, right? So Ubisoft will then be in charge of licensing those games out. They license them to Xbox. They can license them to PlayStation. They can license them to Ubisoft. They can license them to GeForce Now. They can license them to Amazon. They can put them on Uplay Plus, which Ubisoft put out as a presser, which seems like they are very much looking forward to. We're going to put Call of Duty streaming in Ubisoft Plus. So, yeah. But Ubisoft will be in charge of that, not Xbox. And it cannot be exclusive to Xbox. So they cannot be the exclusive cloud provider, which when you say exclusive, has to be more than one. That's why it's going to be Ubisoft Plus. Right. So like, they're going to have Call of Duty in the cloud on Ubisoft Plus and Game Pass in the UK, I would imagine.
How much is this going to cost Ubisoft? Like, can they afford this?
I don't think it's cost them much of anything. Because remember, it's a limited time deal, and Microsoft has a
limited 15 years.
15 years is a long time, but it's not like they don't own them indefinitely. So I think it's one of those. Think about it this way, I guess. the deal might be Ubisoft, give us $100 million for the rights to this, but then we will give you $20 million every year for 15 years. It's one of those sorts of things, right? Like when this happened, people were like, they're not going to be in Game Pass. Like one, all the games are going to be in Game Pass. It's just streaming. But two, they're also going to be in the streaming part of the plan too.
Right.
Like they're not, it's not like Ubisoft just bought streaming rights forever and Microsoft won't have them in cloud gaming. They'll have them in cloud gaming. The ones that they want anyway, the ones that they think are worth it, they'll have them there. This is the point I was making when we were talking about this possibility from before. All they've done is change the nameplate. Like there's no difference here. Like the point, the UK was supposed to make this better for customers to have more competition. What they've done in actuality is instead of being able to stream all of this on the Game Pass subscription you probably already have, now you likely need that and or another subscription.
Right.
I think this is probably good for Uplay Plus, especially if they go like, I'm going to say the word exclusive. If they treat these titles as exclusive to Game Pass and Ubisoft Plus, this is a great deal for Ubisoft Plus. But I'm wondering, does Ubisoft then like I'm trying to say, if by putting Activision games on Ubisoft Plus and then in turn making them available on Luna, is that good for Amazon?
Yeah, why not?
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's like maybe that helps. I'm trying to figure out who this might help. Maybe de facto Amazon gets a little rub here, but I think Xbox partnering with Ubisoft is probably to keep away from Apple or Amazon.
Yeah.
That's probably the deal here.
Yeah.
So there are people that are like, Call of Duty is just going to be on every streaming platform. That remains to be seen.
Yeah.
I'm a little hesitant to just go down that path. Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. It could be. It could. I think it could be. This is a win for cloud gaming, I guess.
Yeah.
I would rather have it all in one than having multiples. But yeah. But at the end of the day, like who really cares about the cloud? Like nobody. Yeah, they don't. Nobody really cares.
Daniel, he's the only one,
and he'll be able to do that. He'll be able to do it. So good for Daniel.
Yeah, except not on the portal.
Will Luna be here in 15 years?
Yes, because Amazon ain't going nowhere.
Like if Uplay Plus, if Ubisoft streaming gets incorporated into Netflix, does Activision games being in there move the needle at all for Netflix folks? Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can play Call of Duty in Netflix?
Yeah.
Sign me up.
But I'm also wondering if the exclusive clause means just Ubisoft and Game Pass. There was a lot of people that are like, we're just going to put it on PlayStation streaming and we'll put it on Amazon Luna streaming and I'm wondering if it's just going to be on these two streaming things.
Right.
Unless the licensing is like, unless people really want to bid for that. But I don't think they do.
That'd be interesting. I don't think they do either. Yeah.
And also,
it's a lot.
Also, these games were going to be, they already signed streaming deals with GeForce Now and they were going to be there anyway. Mm-hmm. So like this doesn't really change any of that either. You were already going to be able to stream. Why you would want to stream Call of Duty anyway?
Yeah, I
of all the games to stream, that ain't it.
No. Like
the game is hard enough and fast enough as it is natively.
Yeah. God. That's the last thing I need is any additional lag being added into Call of Duty. Like, no, thank you.
Maker of Chaos says some games are also coming to PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium since ABK games will also go to the Ubisoft Classics on PlayStation Plus.
Are they?
Yeah. Streaming? Like my belief is that like this is just for the streaming rights. So like maybe they go over streaming or maybe the back catalog is, maybe they're third party. Like they're already Activision games on PlayStation, like could they come to Ubisoft Plus? Sure. Why not? They're already there. So that wouldn't shock me either. Like, again, nothing's exclusive. Call of Duty and future Call of Duty, keep showing up on PlayStation.
Yep.
So they're not going away. So I would expect that eventually they'll fall into PlayStation and, PlayStation Plus and other subscription services too. It's not an exclusive deal.
Can I just turn streaming off? Just no more streaming. Just can we kill it?
You're like, you can keep the portal. The portal's closed.
Yeah,
portal's closed,
exactly.
bitch.
We're done here.
You're out here Thanosing portals.
Yes. Get this shit out of here.
This came out of an interview that Phil had today at Gamescom with IGN. He was asked several questions. He was asked his response to like Bobby Kotick saying that Call of Duty was value destructive. Yeah. And he was like, how do you deal with that now that you guys are going to merge? And Phil was like, well, he won't be making the decisions anymore.
I saw that. I was like, oh.
Well, let me tell you here, Destin, he's not in charge. I'm the captain now. He also said that he believes we're at the end of the beginning of the generation because of the pricing and the parts disparity and having a hard time like sourcing consoles and all of that. He's like, it just feels like now developers are catching up to this generation and really starting to push games. He said that in a question based on like if they had more hardware plans. He seemed really committed to like, we need to establish the hardware we have versus introducing pro models and extra models. Like, it seems like he's pretty content on what they're doing at the moment.
Yeah.
He said he's not trying to make gaming completely subscription focused. However, many people say that that's their end game. He's like, we still sell games to people. Like, we still want you to buy games. And he said that they're working with Larian to get Baldur's Gate on Xbox sooner. That Larian said that the reason it was delayed is because they weren't ready for Xbox Series S and all that. And Phil was like, well, we can help them that. We've got developers, we've got experts, and we're going to send them to Larian. Apparently, that should come by the end of the year, I think was the comment that he said. So for any of you guys out there missing out on Baldur's Gate, just hang in there. It's coming soon.
Nice.
Side tangent. I did throw this in here. Have you seen this projector? Did you see this projector I posted?
I did not.
Samsung has a new projector called the Freestyle Gen 2. It's a little standalone projector. It looks like a recessed light. You know, like it's like a little spotlight, just like a little spotlight that you can maneuver and point. It has built-in gaming. So you can play GeForce Now and Xbox cloud streaming and all that, like in the projector. So you can just like hook up the projector onto a wall connected to Wi-Fi, and you can play your movies on it, and you can, you know, cast from your phone or your tablet and movies and TV shows and play games. It's $800.
That's a lot.
It is a lot, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of neat. It's a neat little device. Moving on. We got Forza details. So Forza Motorsport is coming out in October, and we have learned that the Nürburgring will be included day one. The Nürburgring, the famous track in Germany. And then the North Loop Nordschleife, I believe I got that right, will be arriving to that track build in the spring. Players that are at Gamescom can play the Builders Cup, which is the new single player mode for Forza Motorsport. So we'll probably see hands-on impressions from that this week. You can pre-order on Steam. They say they've optimized Forza Motorsport to look and play great across a wide range of PCs. That's me looking with doubt. We will see. And they said that they have real-time ray tracing on track with maximum performance enabled by DLSS 2 and AMD FSR 2.2. So get excited for Forza. Forza Horizon was not a great experience on PC. The load times were longer. I had controller issues. Like, it just didn't feel very optimized or supported. Not like on console. Like on console, it was so much better. So
I thought it was a pretty good experience from what I played. Like I actually played some Forza, and it seemed to run pretty good.
I'm planning to play it on console, but I'll try the PC version. I'll give it a go. It's so well optimized on console, and there's like no performance boost even on my PC. Like, the console runs so well already, you know?
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid Collection had previews, and the previews weren't like stellar. People were mad. I knew they would be, but I'm not surprised. So Konami has since come out and clarified what you can expect. So we'll read those first, and then we can talk about it. You can expect the Metal Gear Solid Collection to perform at 1080p, 60 frames a second on Switch when docked. Or, sorry, not on Switch. I fucked all that up. You can expect 1080p 60 on all consoles but Switch. Okay. So everything else, PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox Series S, 1080p 60. On Switch, 1080 30 while docked, 720 30 in handheld. So you cannot play Metal Gear at 60 frames per second on Switch at all.
Okay.
People are mad.
Well, I mean, you got to Switch. Just be happy that it's there.
I'm more in that boat now. I do think like Metal Gear Solid 3, I maybe understand, but like Metal Gear, Metal Gear Solid, like, come on, 60 frames a second, a damn, PlayStation 1 game is a bit ridiculous, but I'm not shocked. I think we talked about this when it was rumored, and then when the announcement came, and then like once I started to dig into the details, I said this many podcasts ago. This literally is the collection that we already have. If you have the Metal Gear collection on 360 or PS3, this is the same thing. It's got new features, new bonus content, but it's the same games. There's no different. There's no optimizing. The control scheme is going to be the same. The resolution is going to be the same. Is all going to be the same. They do have borders on the sides of the screen, which I was like, nice, good. That's good. We can do that. Yeah. And I think they said
black box. Yeah.
Yeah. They had like 6 or 7 sets of them. And I was like, awesome. I'm still getting on Switch. I really don't care. Like I played Metal Gear Solid at 30 the first time. So
right.
That's not a really game where I'm like, it needs to be 60. Like, yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah. It's a pretty slow game.
I was shocked that people were really like that up in arms about this.
People are mad.
I thought we knew this. Like this.
Yeah, we do.
This doesn't seem like a shock, right?
I think they caught it. We did. We knew.
Like you knew this was just a port, right? Like,
it's the same thing. I was really hoping that maybe they would have like a modern control scheme. They absolutely do not. It is the same thing. So, which is why when I realized this, so I said this before. That's why I'm not buying an Xbox copy. I already have one.
You have that.
I have the Xbox HD collection.
Yep.
I already have one. That's why I don't need one. I just need one for my Ally and then one for the Switch. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really hope Switch 2 is backwards compatible. I'm going to be upset that I've got this Metal Gear collection I can't play on my next handheld.
Well, I mean, your next handheld is just the Ally. I mean, are we getting...
No, it's not. I'm going to get the next Switch 2. I'm very excited for it. It'll be more optimized. Some quick hitting headlines. December 7th, the Game Awards come back. You mentioned you were excited for Starfield. Xbox unveiled this week that they have new like console wraps.
Yeah.
Like faceplates for consoles. Like they have these like vinyl things that you wrap around your like a skin, like a decal, but it has a magnetic clasp on the back. So you can easily change them in and out. And they're launching with Starfield and 2 sets of camo, like camo black and pink or whatever.
Camo of all things.
It won't stop.
Of all of the things that you have for Xbox, you decide to go with Starfield and
camo. Hey, don't say Xbox. PlayStation makes camo controllers too.
Yeah, but they don't launch with camo.
There's dual senses with camo.
They don't launch with that though. Like,
yeah, no, the Starfield one matches their new controller, which I imagine people are. I love this news. You know me, faceplates, all that stuff. I think this is the greatest news in the world. I just wish I was excited for Starfield and I'd buy one. They're $50. Yeah. If they make one for Fable and Hellblade and Forza and so I'll buy and Gears. I'll buy all those. I'll buy all these shits.
Forza one. Forza's coming. We went with camo.
I hope this isn't a one-off. You know, like I almost wanted to buy one just to show them that like I'll buy more. Like keep making them. Please don't stop with just this. Make more. I want more. Maker of Chaos says, I'd love a Gears one. Yeah, give me a Gears one.
Yeah.
Even if they make them like store exclusives that you have to go through Microsoft, like they did like the Redfall controllers, even if they're more expensive. Okay. Keep making them. Make more. Give me a Fable one. I'll give you $100.
Yeah.
I'll pay you twice. Perfect.
Go ahead and make the Skyrim one.
I'd buy a Redfall one.
Doom.
Like, absolutely. Doom.
So many better ideas than camo.
Well, yeah, the camos. Camo is so much more popular than we think it is. And the reason that we know this, they just keep making this shit on repeat constantly. We've had camo, nonstop camo accessories for 15 or 20 years. So it's got to be popular.
Oh, more than that. I remember when I was in high school, like we started getting all the colored camo pants. So people would wear like the hammer type pants. Like they were like kind of like sweats.
I remember that.
Quite like cargo and just all the colors. Just like, oh, this is a thing.
I remember wrestlers started to catch onto that trend and tried to bring it. Yeah, it was a thing.
Yep. Camo's never going away. It's always going to be something.
But I love these. I love these little wraps. And I think it's neat how they decided to do it. Like it looks good.
It's clean. It's not, it doesn't look cheap.
Yeah. It doesn't look a sticker.
It's a good move.
You don't have to worry about like ripping it off. Somebody in another Discord was like, I don't like that it doesn't cover up the whole back of the console. And I replied back to him, I was like, you stare at the back of your console much? Like,
right. It's the back of it.
Is that on display a whole lot?
You have yours flipped around all the time? Like,
somebody else was like, yeah, the top is still black. It's like, dude, it's the vent.
What do you expect?
I think they just want a box. You just put like a box over it.
Yeah, you could do that yourself. Jesus.
SteamWorld Build is coming to Game Pass December 1st. Yeah, I'm not too excited about that either. But the only thing I'll make out of this, Thunderful and Game Pass continues to be a thing. Thunderful has released multiple projects in a row where it's just day one on Game Pass. They were on that short list that leaked or got reported on or whatever, like companies Xbox would like to buy. If Xbox is going to go back to the well and aim for a smaller publisher, I would love nothing more than Thunderful to come in. That would be great. Thunderful to keep making Game Pass games. That'd be incredible. Yeah. Turok 3 is getting a 4K remaster by Night Dive Studios. I'm very excited for this, and we'll be buying it day one. Dev, you know that I like Turok.
You love Turok.
I've never played this game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never played Turok 3. I think by the time it came out, or I don't know, it was during a period in my life where I was going through much upheaval. So I'm sure it wasn't on my radar. And I think by the time I figured out what it was, I think I had already moved on.
Gotcha.
And this was one that I never played. So I know that like I think there's multiple characters, and like one of them has a hook shot, which is like a wild thing to think of in Turok. I'm like literally jazzed. When I saw this news this morning, I was like, no fucking way. I'm all in, because I love the Turok 1 and 2 remasters. If anybody hasn't played them, they're excellent on Switch. They're on every console and PC. They're great handheld games if you've got a Steam Deck or whatever. I love Turok, so I don't know how to sell it to people. If you like first-person shooters or story campaign, shooters of the day, like if you like Perfect Dark or GoldenEye, but you want like a campaign where you do missions and stuff, like Turok was the jam. So I think Turok 3 is awesome. Denuvo now supports Unreal Engine and Switch. And the two articles that I read, the things that I wanted to say is apparently the technology that they are doing for the Unreal Engine could make mods and things like just completely break now. And then Switch, it can fight against people that are pirating games on Switch or doing Switch emulation on PC, because it can be in-game code checks. So if you're running Yuzu and all of this crazy Switch emulation we're seeing on Allies and Dex, just know that Nintendo and Denuvo are coming for you.
Garrett Bland, watch out.
This is the first security company that's been approved by Nintendo's development kit.
Oh boy.
So
that speaks volumes.
Yeah, it does. Sure. Exactly. Like, yeah, they're coming for you. Yikes. Denuvo sucks because it tanks performance. It's the only thing that I have. I don't mind anybody having anti-cheat or whatever. Yeah. I don't care. What do I care? But I do know that like my limited experience with Denuvo is that like Resident Evil with Denuvo versus Resident Evil without Denuvo means like 20 FPS. Like it's a lot.
Yeah. I need that performance. I don't care.
I need that performance. Security. Make your shit lighter weight. What are you doing, Denuvo?
Yeah.
So The Epic Games Store has launched a new program they're calling First Run, where it's offering developers 100% revenue for 6-month exclusivity to the Epic Games Store. After 6 months, it'll then revert to the Epic standard of 88.12.
They are trying to really
They're trying so hard.
Come for Steam. Like, they're really trying to do it. And you
Steam
people
seem
to really not want to go there.
Steam is on the elevator. Just, I don't think about you at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that's nice.
It's good for developers. I mean, I think you should get. I wouldn't be upset if like everybody did that for the first 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you couldn't do that on consoles because that's like is the console business,
right?
But like on PC, I wouldn't hate that because it is like the Switzerland, you know.
Yep. I mean, PlayStation does that now as anyway. We're gonna go to EGS and then Steam later.
I think that would make more people support PC faster. Yeah, if probably. Day one, you know, like I think PlayStation ports and stuff might show up a little quicker if they didn't have to hand over the 30%.
Yeah.
I think that is a big issue, and I think it would be another step forward to getting rid of like on PC Gamer you have 29 different launchers. Like the reason Ubisoft created a launcher is the 30%, and the reason EA has a launcher is the 30%. Like the reason everybody has a launcher is so they don't have to give over that cut. So like a limited time window where you don't have to, like maybe on Steam, maybe Steam doesn't have to go this hard, but maybe on Steam is like, you know what? No revenue split in your first month of sales. That'd be a big deal to somebody like EA or Ubisoft.
Absolutely.
Or PlayStation or Xbox. That'd be a huge deal. So
yeah, and then just match the 88.12. Just
do
that. Like, because Epic's apparently got more money than God, so they can just do this.
Fortnite money, baby.
Yeah, but
10-cent money.
Yeah, they got all that.
They got all the money. Unreal Engine money. They got all the money.
Yep.
It really feels like with Epic Games Store, like it's about the principle. It's not a money making endeavor.
It's not.
It's not.
It's
and
not.
It won't. Like I don't
that's
necessarily
what they
think
went
it
to
ever.
bat against
I don't
Apple.
think it ever will be.
Right.
On them, it's like we want an alternative, and we want a developer friendly place to publish games.
Yep.
So the Ally made me not hate it. Like I'm all about it now because my games are just. My next game that I'll probably play this week is Tachia, which I bought on the Epic Game Store. It's just another icon on my. Can I put the Armory crate? Can I put the crate stuff on my PC?
Armory crate, you can. I don't think that it's going to work.
It's not going to be like the Ally, though, is it?
Stuff in there. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Because the reason on the Ally is because it's all ASUS stuff. Armory crate.
Because I like the overlay a lot. I wish I could just do this all the time without having to like manually add the game to Steam or use GOG. I'm not using GOG. Nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that may just be something that works for the Ally, but you can try it. Doesn't hurt. You can try.
No, I'm not going to mess with it. Yeah. With Epic, I'm only going there for like certain games. You know, so like right now it's very easy to remember what I have on Epic because I don't have my entire library on Epic.
Yeah. I just go there for their free games that they give us every month. Just here's a couple of free games. My Epic library is quite large.
I'm excited to play Tachia. I think it might be my kind of jam.
Yeah.
AEW Fight Forever's 30-player mode arrives this week. So their Battle Royale Stadium Stampede Battle Royale game mode is coming out this week. As the Steam current player count dropped below 30 yesterday.
Oof.
There were 18 people playing last night. The tweet that went viral was, there's not even enough people on Steam to play this mode.
So it's actually 30 people?
It's 30-player online Battle Royale.
Oh my God.
Wrestling.
Yeah. Okay. Good luck with that.
Oh, I don't think it's going to run.
That lobby's going to be sitting there for a while trying to match me.
I'll watch streams because having played the game, I have no idea how the net code functions.
Right.
Like that can't be good. The basic logic of the game isn't that good. And that's with CPUs. Like I can't imagine 30 people doing that is any good.
An exercise in futility.
We'll see. BioWare's laying off 50 people.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. EA said they were going to make cuts earlier this year.
They did. Trying to refocus, restructure, yada, 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 yada. And
So
BioWare gets ahead of that.
Dreadwolf is probably further away than you thought it was after today.
Dreadwolf is never coming. All right.
It will, but I'm not surprised if it's coming like 2026 or 7.
Yeah.
You know, it could be years. I think people are thinking it's like next year. It could be years away.
Yeah. And then they're also apparently still working on the next Mass Effect entry as well. So
yeah. Oh, and what was the thing that Mike said that they cut ties with their testing group that unionized?
Yeah, it's some testing group that they had
Wasn't
on
that like the
contract
testing
regularly.
group that we were talking about like last year that was like trying to unionize and finally got through and everything? And everyone's like, this is great. And then he's like, we're not working with you anymore. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I think they tried. Apparently they tried. They just couldn't come to an agreement, like the two companies. So they just didn't renew the contract, and they had
Dollars
renewed
and
the
cents don't
contract
work.
every year since the 2020. Yeah, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
NVIDIA has unveiled DLSS 3.5 with what they're calling ray tracing reconstruction, which, if I have this right, correct me if I'm wrong, is just about making ray tracing like look better, not like necessarily perform much better, right?
I didn't read too much into it because I don't really turn on ray tracing in anything at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty overrated.
Yeah, it is. Like it makes.
Although
it makes
Cyberpunk with ray tracing is
Cyberpunk looks really good.
Yeah, Cyberpunk's really good.
There aren't too many games that really support ray tracing at a level that it's worth the performance hit.
That's it.
That's the problem.
That's it. Yeah, and when I was reading about it, they're talking about like the bitmaps and like the shadows and like how much better it looks. There were some things that were shown that were like slightly better performance, but I also think that was DLSS 3 frame insertion performance. I don't think this is going to, it's like the reconstruction is available to everybody with an RTX card, but I don't think the performance is going to change. I think your performance would be about the same. Correct. So you have prettier ray tracing if you're willing to give up the frames, and that argument just isn't good enough right now.
Yeah.
There are very few games that I'm willing to give up the frames for, and like Cyberpunk's one of them, but that's only because I can still get it to 60. If I couldn't give it to 60, turn that shit off instantly.
So. Absolutely. Yeah, the path tracing stuff, like it's not enough games support it yet either. Like that's the thing. Like you've got to actually have games that are going to support all the DLS stuff, support the ray tracing. This extra
my favorite thing with ray tracing is when they add it to older games.
Yeah,
and then it really makes an older game feel like a remaster. You know, it's like this is cool. Did you see they were adding it to Half-Life?
Half-Life, yeah.
That's cool. More of that.
The Portal stuff looks cool, but you gotta have companies that want to do that. They want to go back and do that to add that stuff to the older games, or to add it to like even the newer games. Like, but the performance that it takes is always like, it looks fine without it.
I need those rumors of Mark Cerny fixing it. Make ray tracing great again.
Well, yeah.
Trace those rays, bruh.
Trace them. Path trace them.
Stalker 2, no surprise, has been delayed to Q1 2024. So it's playable. You can play it at Gamescom. I'm still very excited for it, but we'll see when
we'll be here when it gets here. Yeah.
Yep. Oh boy, rumor control. I saw this one. Could be a throwaway rumor. I didn't even dive all into it. I just thought it was a fun one. True or false? There's a Medieval and Days Gone movie possibly in the works at PlayStation Productions. So there was like a new trailer that was shown off for PlayStation Productions that had like evidence of Medieval and Days Gone in it. And there were like some directors that were tied to both of those projects. So what do you think?
I mean, I could definitely see a Days Gone movie. Medieval though, that feels kind of out of left
I think
field.
if there's any life left in the Medieval franchise, like an animated project would have to be it. They can't go back to the game, right?
I can't imagine them doing that. Like that
remaster didn't do
what they wanted it to do. That's for sure.
Yeah. Days Gone movie, I 100% could see.
Yeah, absolutely. That's easy. That's easy money. But Medieval, maybe something animated could be cool for that.
If the movie took off, maybe they use that to revisit Days Gone.
Yeah, I mean that'd be great if you do the movie and then Days Gone 2. is now a thing again. So,
do you think they do a 2 or like maybe like a soft reboot?
it's a damn
Like
good
when I
question.
mean 2, like the Deacon St. John continuation, or like Days Gone 2 with like a new character.
Having not played Days Gone for more than 5 hours, if that, I couldn't tell you. I don't know enough about the game to say whether they continue with Deacon St. John or something else. I don't know.
Okay.
Didn't play enough of the game to know.
And that's the news.
Whoo! We made
It's
it.
a lot.
It was a lot.
I tried to get through it as fast as I could, and it was a lot.
Yeah. You did. We did well. We did well.
I think so.
Yeah. Gold coin is on gold coin. Gold coin doesn't exist, first and foremost. There is no gold coin. It's all a sham. It's all a sham. Rude Day says, look, I'm on vacation, bros. I ain't doing none of this. I'll get back to you next week with the score. However, Yarden says, no problem. Hold my beer, bro. He says, what are the odds that Dev finishes Starfield?
None.
0.
Yeah,
None.
not a chance. I won't even give you
way.
odds. Absolutely 0.
Mm-hmm. Not finishing that game. Absolutely not.
He didn't make it to the dungeon in Zelda. No.
Sure didn't.
He's going to take a flight.
Sure didn't.
He's going to take a stroll around space for a weekend and keep it moving.
Basically.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with it.
No. Just going to enjoy my little time in space, and I'm not finishing that game. I'm sorry. I can't finish games that are that big at this point in my life. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. Odds that Donnie plays Starfield this year. 5%.
It's better than 0, but not
chance.
not a whole lot better than 0. I will try Starfield at some point.
Yeah.
Your best chance is like post Call of Duty. So like November 15th through December-ish territory. Yeah. But there's going to be, I think Dragon Quest comes out in that time. Like there's going to be some stuff in there too. I will try Starfield one day when I'm bored and looking for something new to play.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He's got to be bored and there's got to be a lull.
Yeah.
And then he'll like, I'll fire up Starfield.
Give it a try. I mean, give it 5 hours or so, see if I find something there.
Yeah.
And then if I am, I'll keep going with it. If I don't, I'll turn it off.
Yep. So I give you a 5% chance that you find that break in boredom and lull this year.
I'm not anti-Starfield at all.
Yeah.
I'm just not that into it. So it's kind of on the back burner. I'll try it one day. Yep. I'm going to play Dead Island first.
There you go.
I don't even have that yet, right? So like there are several games I'm waiting on Black Friday, like Lego 2K. I'd much rather pay $25 to play Lego 2K than Starfield.
There you go.
I know that hurts you guys to hear, but I'm shooting it to you straight. That's the truth. So I'd much rather get Dead Island on sale than play Starfield.
Yep. Yeah. Odds that Delvin thinks Starfield is great.
100%. 100%.
I can hear his voice saying it now. It's great.
It's great.
I can hear it now. 100%. He's gonna.
Do you think with it being, all right, I'll fight the opposite here. I'll be your devil's advocate. With it being such a prominent game and important to Xbox, I could see him being like more critical than normal.
No, I don't think that's how Delvin rolls. That's just not how he rolls. He's not going to care that it's important to Xbox. If he's having a somewhat good time,
that would be more of a subconscious thing. I could just see him because when these previews hit and stuff, shit's going to get real. Starfield's going to be huge. People are going to talk about it everywhere. Because of that attention, I could see him coming in and being like, people like it, but I could see more of that talk.
Yeah, I don't see that. I still think he's going to be just great. I'm having a good time. I did this and I did that, and I ended up here.
Made some sandwiches.
Stole some sandwiches. I think he's going to be like, it's great.
Odds Delvin's spaceship just looks like a dong. Dude just flying through space like metal dildo at all.
75%.
75%?
75%.
I wonder what his spaceship's going to look like when he shows us a picture of his spaceship.
Jeff Bezos' spaceship.
That's what I'm thinking too. He's like, see, that's what I'm going for, guys. This is the rocket that I built.
Red rocket, boy. Red rocket.
Oh, it's going to be black.
Lord have mercy. And that does it for the over-under segment. Now it's time to get into the few questions you guys sent us. You stiffed us on questions, people.
This is what happens when Delvin's not here the whole show for so far. We might need a new segment.
Let's see. Did we get any other questions on Twitter? Nope. Nothing. Not a single question on Twitter. Damn shame. Failed us. Well, the few that we do got. Smoking Joe says, what is your favorite number one overall pick in the 90s NBA drafts?
Oh my God. I should have prepped for that.
Yeah, I thought about prep. I meant to prep for it and then forgot. Number one NBA picks in the 90s.
The 90s is an interesting one. All right, so I've got the list. I can read it to you. Yeah. So here's what we're looking at. 99, Elton Brand. 98, Olowokandi. 97, Duncan. 96, Iverson. 95, my man, Joe Smith. 1994, Glenn Robinson.
Okay.
93, Chris Webber. 92, Shaq. 91, Larry Johnson. 1990, Derek Coleman.
Dang, Derek Coleman was in 1990. Wow. Like he was old then.
I mean, Shaq feels like the obvious choice.
He didn't say the best. He said
Duncan's the best. Well, I was gonna say Shaq is most people's favorite. Like if Delvin was here, the answer is absolutely Shaq.
Oh yeah.
Duncan's the best. My favorite though, probably C-Web. But
like I go Weber too.
But I really want to pick Larry Johnson.
So
he was so good.
Jay, baby, Jay.
He was so good. He was so much better than people think.
Oh man, yeah. People don't realize how good he was before that back injury, man.
Yeah, for sure. Larry Johnson highlights are a blast. They're so much fun.
So dope.
Back when UNLV mattered.
Mm-hmm. God, there was a time when the Running Rebels were that ish.
Oh, they were it.
Oh my God.
I just watched him. He ran to the paint. He's got a guy guarding him. It's a fast break. He takes the ball and passes the guy right behind him, just like this. He jumps in midair. Guy's ready to block. He just flies into the guy. He was so, I'm going to pick Larry Johnson.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's tough. Because I also really love AI.
I love AI, the skill. I don't necessarily love watching AI, the player, play basketball. He doesn't play team basketball, like that ISO heavy. He is like the poster child for what the NBA became and like kind of has become. Like the reason we have a Harden and stuff is because of Allen Iverson.
Oh yeah.
He's extremely influential. Everybody wanted to be Allen Iverson, but it's not good for team basketball.
Not at all. Not at all. It's so funny. I saw a tweet asking who was they were saying the most influential basketball players the last couple of years, the last 20 years. It was
AI and
Michael Jordan. No, AI wasn't on the list. And we're like, this is nonsense.
No, that's Jordan, nonsense.
Kobe, LeBron, and Curry. I'm like, how do you not have AI on that?
No.
On earth.
I was cutting off before Michael, but definitely, I mean, everybody grew up Michael Jordan, but it's interesting. We don't have a whole lot of players that play like Michael. So I don't know, how does that mean for influence?
Yeah. I mean, I think he influenced, the influence is ended. Michael Jordan's influence on what the game is no longer a thing, but it had plenty of influence in the 90s and in the 2000s.
I think his influence, maybe rephrase, I think Michael's popularity made people want to play basketball.
Yeah.
And I think people wanted to be great like Michael. So you could look at somebody like LeBron and Kobe and be like, they were influenced by Michael Jordan, but they didn't model their game after Michael Jordan.
They didn't, but players like Allen Iverson did.
But that's the thing. But players modeled their game like Kyrie, Allen Iverson, Kobe all day. You can see it. It's
the funny thing is Kobe's game is just Jordan. Same with but
his game is he's more skillful than Jordan.
He is, but if you like, there's so many clips you can put them side to side. And it's like, damn. Like if you put
Oh no,
Kobe,
there
Jordan,
are
and Devin Booker, like they
he's got imprints on like turnaround baseline fades and stuff like that. But like I'm talking like the full. I have yet to see an ISO heavy scorer like Jordan that was like 100% committed on defense like Jordan.
Oh yeah, no.
You know, like
we're
that's
just talking about offense here. We're just
okay. My bad.
Because
when I think of Jordan, I really do think of a defensive. I think he's both. He's an offense and a defensive player. I
agree. Both. Defense died in the NBA long.
And the 2-point game, like he could shoot threes, but wasn't a 3-point shooter. You know, definitely ISO heavy for sure, but would also a willing passer.
Yep.
You know, even in game time situations, don't get enough credit for that because he hit game winners. He passed up a lot of game winners, like in the playoff, in the finals.
When you think about a lot of the game winners, like you forget about Paxson and Kerr. Like
Paxson,
he had no problem
Kerr,
passing the ball. BJ Armstrong, like he would pass the rock to those dudes.
Yeah,
and they would.
And that's where like the Iverson, Kobe stuff doesn't necessarily come into play.
They're not passing the ball.
So it's like they're influenced by Jordan, but they didn't model after Jordan. Where I think a lot of players saw what Iverson did and they're like, I'm just going to be Iverson.
Yeah.
There's thousands of those players, even not even good players. Deion Waiters wanted to be Allen Iverson.
Yeah, there's so many want to be.
So many players just wanted to be that. They're like, I'm just going to go out and win the game. Just me.
I think it's easier to model your game after just this guy who's just trying to score the ball all the time versus trying to model your game after Jordan. Like you have to be a very specific skill set to even try to fully model Jordan's game.
And like I think Kobe wanted to be great like Jordan, but not necessarily play like Jordan.
I think he wanted to play like Jordan as well, but I think
I think Ginobili wanted to play like Jordan.
That guy was special.
Yeah.
He just got it done. Ginobili was going to do whatever it took all the time.
And
both sides of the ball.
Really is like the Michael Jordan effect. Dude was just gritty, man. Just hard-nosed, like all time, like unrelenting.
The most competitive person ever.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah. He'd fight you everything. He'd fight you over everything. Every free throw, every loose ball, constantly.
Put your foot on their neck and never let up.
Yeah. So I get it with AI. And he was great. Like watching him play, he was incredible. But it's just not a very just one of those differences. Like
team ball.
Yeah. I think of him a lot like I think of Harden.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily a winning player.
Yeah.
The opposite of like a Duncan.
Yeah. He's dedicated to winning, but it's just that was the way he played.
Oh, he was trying to win. Yeah, I don't know, but he was trying to win, but like
I feel like Harden will be trying to win. Harden's just like I'm just
No, I think he tried to win too. But like you reach a point, and that's what separates greats from good. You reach a point where you alone are not good enough. It is a team game. And you have to play team basketball. I think LeBron learned that early on. AI learned that, like you can't just win on your own.
Yeah. I think that LeBron knew that coming in. I feel like LeBron has always been a team player versus I'm going to do it all.
Well, yeah, he left Cleveland the first time because he realized with the roster and the options they had, they just couldn't get there.
Yeah, no mas.
No, he is definitely, even in high school, he was that way.
Yeah.
Kobe had to learn that the hard way.
Mm-hmm. He did.
He literally thought he could just cook 80 every day. He's like, I'll get us there. And it's like you were not that good.
You didn't watch Jordan's first 8 years in the league, did you?
That's like a lot of people don't recognize that those existed.
Right?
Have you seen them? We have revisionist memory of Jordan getting bounced by Detroit and Boston and him going off 62, 58, 12 is like he's giving it everything he's got, but not good enough. Not a good enough support. Not a good enough team.
Yep. Totally forget about that.
But Larry Johnson, man. Alley-oop machine. Like Larry Johnson, real life NBA Jam the player.
For real. Oh my God.
He's on for boom shakalaka. If there's a player that's ever made me say boom shakalaka, Larry Johnson. Boom shakalaka. He is the boom shakalaka of real life players.
Absolutely. God, man. That the Charlotte teams in like the early NBA Lives, NBA Jam, they were just so much fun.
Did you
So much
see
fun to play with those.
they're going back to their classic unis?
I did, and I'm very happy about it.
Just completely. That is the new uniform.
As it should be.
So it's like the Browns. Like they had their little moment and they're like, no, we screwed that up. We're going back. Go back.
Oh, man. Good stuff. There you go, Smoking Joe. The answer is Larry Johnson. Kyle the Pug wants to know, will Jeff Keighley ever get better security? Like, are we going to?
You would think by now. Like, I'm surprised this happened again.
Yeah. Can he get some security? We need some security.
I think next time, his next show, they should spoof the moment. Like, own the moment. Get out in front of it. I would have like a dev run up and take over and like announce a new game. And then like Jeff's like, well, you heard him, guys. And he cuts immediately to a trailer. Like, Devolver that shit. Before it becomes like a trend. Like, that's the thing I'm afraid of, is like it becomes a trend where everybody's trying to do it. That's a problem. Right? Yeah. So get out in front of it. What would Devolver do? That's what Jeff should be asking himself. I think they would make a joke out of it. Have Devolver do it.
Even better.
Even better.
Even better. Yeah. So we don't know, Kyle. We hope that he does get some security of some sort, but also just own it. Own it.
And imagine if Victor Wembanyama's security was there. Oh. And they slapped Brittany.
Yeah. Dude, they got the bid. He got the 1-2 like real quick.
That's the security we need. That would have been hilarious to see somebody like Samoa drop somebody right in the front of the damn Game Awards.
That would be great.
What the? That was the energy that show had. That show had like a pro wrestling like energy. It was like, I don't know what the hell's going on half the time. There was a moment where I just posted the Discord. I was like, I'm so happy I decided to watch this show today because I haven't watched many of his shows. And for whatever reason, like, maybe they're all like this, but I don't think so. I think I watched the Game Awards last year and thought it was pretty good. Like, this was amateur hours for real. Like, this felt just Bush League. It felt off.
Yeah.
It'd be like if we were trying to run the event, like with the streaming cues, like interview mistakes. We're like, what is going on?
Ooh, yeah.
He might need another MC. And I don't know if he wants that, but he might need to have like a couple. Like, maybe split it up a little. Like, give yourself a break. Like, let yourself work on. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure if he does that just because, or if he wants that spotlight. I can't say. I don't know, Jeff. But like, maybe having some other talking heads might help some of that.
Yeah. Share the wealth, man. Get a little help. Take a little off. Might be good.
Because if you split up, the show was like 2 hours, right? If you split it up across like 3 people, then like maybe you've got time for them to work on their segments with other people before and off, right? Or he's just on the mic the whole time. You know, like that might actually be a good move for him. Yeah, I think
you can cue things up a lot better.
It was a little weird.
A little bit more prepared. Yeah,
it was weird.
Instead of having your boy jump out, we can't wait for the game. It's just come on. We can do better. Captain Awesome says, I know this is more of a question for Shaq, but given a lot of the recent news, do you guys think there won't be backwards compatibility for the Switch?
I'm honestly torn.
How many?
I see both sides.
I could see it, but then it wouldn't surprise me in the least if Nintendo didn't, because they just like to put all their old stuff on the eShop and make you buy it again.
They do that. They've done backwards compatibility a lot, though, in their history. The 3DS was backwards compatible with the DS. The Wii was backwards compatible with the GameCube.
It was?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I did not know that.
The original Wii even had GameCube ports on the top for controllers and memory cards.
That's what those ports were. I had no idea.
That is what those ports are for. Yeah.
I didn't know.
And it read the discs. You put the mini disc in the Wii.
Huh. Did not know that was a thing.
Yeah. So, and I think there's, on the portable side, I'm not as knowledgeable, but I think there have been lots of support between like Game Boy Color.
Oh, yeah. The Game Boy Advance played all the Game Boy games. Yeah. All the portables have done that.
So there's a history there of them doing it. But with it being a new chipset and everything.
That's what I was gonna say.
And with the Switch having like dumped and hacked as much as it has, Kevin and I were talking about this on Shack a couple weeks ago. The fastest way to try and combat like security flaws is to change the cartridge medium. And if they change the cartridge medium, then it makes it harder for backwards compatibility. It doesn't make it impossible. Like the 3DS could play DS games and 3DS cartridges. Like you could do something like that, but it makes it harder.
Yeah.
But if they adopt a new chipset, that makes it even harder. If I had to bet, I think it would be backwards compatible because I think it would be a blow to announce a new system on the heels of Tears of the Kingdom and Mario Wonder and those games just not work.
Yeah.
But I'm bracing for like Nintendo fuck it up somehow to where it's weird, like a PlayStation weird, where they're like, your digital library is, but your physical stuff isn't, or upgrade fee. Like I'm waiting for that. Like that's kind of what I'm bracing for, is like it be backwards compatible, but with a catch. Like it's backwards compatible, but like only these 100 games are backwards compatible. Like something weird. Like I would be surprised if they rolled it out and they're like, yeah, everything you have just works.
Yeah, I could see them doing the digital. All your digital games are great, but these physical ones,
That's gonna make a lot of people mad.
Yeah, because people love getting their physical.
Nintendo folks love their physicals. Yeah.
So I think it would behoove them to make it backwards compatible, but I can also see them being like, yeah, no.
It also, with it being a new generation, I think there's a case to be made, not that gamers want to hear it, that like, if they plan to launch a new kart game, a new Smash or whatever, it behooves them to not let those other games be on the system. You know, to like force a cutover to make people buy and adopt the new systems, the new platform.
Yeah, but to play devil's advocate, I feel like Nintendo people are going to buy the new thing anyway, because that's just kind of how they roll. Like if it's a new Smash, I'm going to get the new Smash. If it's a new kart, I'm going to get the new kart.
Well, a kart for sure. Yeah, kart for sure. But like, let's say Rebecca and I have been thinking that like the next system will release just Smash Ultimate, but with all the DLC included. Like it's like, you know, Smash Ultimate, the complete edition. So why not like letting people, you know, cut over? You'd like force people to upgrade. Yeah. I don't think people want to hear that, but I think it's possible.
No, they don't.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear that. I'm wondering if do they do something weird with the protocol to where like none of our accessories work? Like, can your old Joy-Con snap in? Are the rails different? They're probably different. They're bigger. Like, do your old Pro controllers work? Do they not work anymore? You know, like this stuff that they're releasing now, like the PDB controller. Like they're like, here's a Pikmin controller. My immediate thought was like, yeah, but does that work with the system they're releasing in a year?
Right.
You know, like I'm hesitant to buy things.
Yeah.
Until I know. Like even I thought about like, do I want to cancel like the Metal Gear? Because like I really want the cartridge, but like, does it not work on the next system? Because once that next system comes out, I will never play my original Switch again. You know, like if it's backwards compatible, everything just instantly moves over there. You know, but if it's not backwards compatible, I'm going to buy Metal Gear again. I'll never do that.
Here's another question. Do they do an OLED screen for the next Switch?
I said that a long time ago. I said no. So that's the rumor. Have you heard that?
No.
The rumor with the new system, the rumors that came out, there were reports of the new system dev kits and whatnot going out recently, within the last month. It was maybe my last check. There were rumors of a new dev kit going out and reports on what it was. And people were up in arms because the initial reports were, it's going to come out with an 8-inch LCD. It's going to look not like, but it's going to be similar to the PlayStation Portal. And people were like, it's not going to be OLED. And the funny thing is, like 6 months ago, me and Rebecca are on Shack, and I was like, watch them launch it with an LCD and not OLED. And she was like, don't even say. I was like, well, you know they are. 100% they are. I was like, does anybody think they're going to launch with an OLED?
That's crazy. Like once you have that, like going back,
and that's what I was telling Kevin, is I 100% am expecting that the day one release, people putting the OLED next to the new one and talking about how worse it is.
Yeah.
But as I said, there are good OLEDs there are good LCDs and bad LCDs. Like just because they go back to LCD screen doesn't mean it's bad. It could be great. It could be like the G unit as an LCD screen. Could be like the Allies LCD screen. These are great screens. Like my issue with the Switch, the OG Switch, isn't the LCD screen. It's that the screen on the original Switch sucks. It is one of the worst LCD screens I've ever seen in terms of color accuracy and presentation. There's like just a fuzziness on like a haze it's like whitewashed. It looks like there's a white filter on top of everything. It just sucks.
It becomes even more prevalent when you see the OLED.
Yeah. So like if it's good, do I care? Not really. But an OLED would be better. And that's just I've been expecting. I personally at least have been bracing it and trying to warn Shack listeners like, dude, they're totally not going to launch with OLED.
What size is the OLED screen in the Switch? Is it 8 inches?
No, I think it's the rumors are that the new screen will be 8 inches, which I believe is about a half inch bigger. I believe the OLED is like 7.2 or something.
That sucks. I was gonna say you just repurpose all the screens you've already got and just put them on the new Switch. Because otherwise,
because it'll be like it's a 7-inch. It's a 7-inch OLED screen. So it'd be bigger. You know, like an 8-inch screen. That's why I was like Joy-Cons won't work. Because the rails will be bigger. The new Joy-Cons will be bigger. And like Nintendo loves selling pieces of plastic. Could they go in there and make old Pro controllers, even Bluetooth, not work with the new one?
That would suck.
But would you be surprised?
Not at all.
Not even a little bit, man.
Nothing Nintendo cannot surprise me.
That's their overhead though. Right? Like they don't sell systems at a loss. Like that's their overhead. They make up for it by Labo and controller attachments and weird thing. Like that's where they make their money. So like I'm kind of expecting it. And that's the part. Knowing that now, like having that perspective of Nintendo makes me go, oh boy, I 100% could be like, I'm waiting for them to, you just see Matt. He's just like, we tried, but the technology it's not possible. Yeah. Right. And like, that's all they got to say. It's like, we tried, but we got a new cartridge and we really wanted to, guys. We really wanted to.
We really did.
We really did.
But we just,
it just doesn't work.
We had to move forward, and this is the direction we're going in.
You don't understand, gamers. The developers have to create a brand new version of the same game you already own. They have to recreate the whole thing and then put it on the new Switch. But I think it'll be backwards compatible because I think it'll be a slap in the face of customers because the thing that we've learned over the years is that the Switch sells really well digitally. Like they sell a lot of digital games. Be an absolute slap in the face of those people if you tell them none of those games play. Huge slap in the face, and it'll. That's the trade-off that these companies make with digital. Is there is an expectation for compatibility and support, and it carries forward.
Yep.
And I don't think Nintendo wants to face that backlash.
Nah.
That could be a Wii U moment for them. They could just, and that's another thing. When I was talking to Kev. For anybody that doesn't listen to Shaq, I'm sorry. Or for people that do listen to Shaq, I'm sorry. I'm just regurgitating all of this. But if you don't listen, I think it's good news.
There you go.
The new president of Nintendo, like since Iwata died, they had an interim and they brought in the new guy. The new guy, dude, he doesn't do anything. Like I get the sense that like since he's taken over, Nintendo has been about making games and printing checks. I get the impression that they don't want to do anything to upset the apple cart. They don't want to fuck up anything. I think this is going to be the most straightforward Nintendo console. Everybody's like, what's the new gimmick going to be? Like my gimmick is that there isn't one. That's the gimmick. Like, I don't think they want to mess this up. I think they're like let's just.
They're real scared of another Wii U moment, huh?
They are. I think that's probably where all this comes from. Like the Switch was such a success. I think they just want to transition people over as quickly and fast and efficiently as possible. I was even debating the idea, like, would they do the PlayStation thing where the first model's backwards compatible and then they phase it out?
Right.
Like that seems very Nintendo. Like if they have 2 cartridge slots or something like that and they just phase it out over time. But like with the new guy in charge, I honestly think, I was like, Furukawa, I'm wondering if he's just like, look, no fuck ups, guys. Nothing weird. No 3D, no glasses, no folding screens. People like what we got. Let's give them another one. Let's run it back.
Yep. Make it enough. Make it work. Keep the party going.
I could see people.
Keep the checks coming.
I could see the trailer coming out, and I could see people being like, "That's it? Like, it's just another Switch? Like, yeah, it's just another Switch.
That's what you've been asking for years now. A better Switch. And this is what we're giving to you.
I think we're doing 3D and it's a little cube and it's a mini disc and a crazy controller. And I think that was a very Iwata led Nintendo. And I think that Nintendo, I haven't seen that Nintendo in years.
Right.
Labo was a long time ago.
I was going to say Labo. Yeah. Last time we seen something Labo, and that was a while ago.
Yeah. Like even Ring Fit Adventure.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that Nintendo in a minute. What is the Nintendo doing right now? Selling stuff. They're just cashing. Just here's games. Games. So I think that's all they're going to be doing.
There you go. We've got a smorgasbord of questions from Rebecca. She says, do you think Taylor Swift will announce more Canadian cities in the Eras Tour, or is Toronto the only Canadian city she's visiting after all?
Huh?
I have no idea.
I've never been less educated to answer a question.
Yeah, Toronto's the only city in Canada, first and foremost. So
where else would she go?
Yeah, there's nowhere else to go.
Like the Yukon, the Great North, or something? Like there's Alaska, Anchorage.
Yeah,
that's not Canada.
But it's on the other side.
But it is Canada.
Yeah, it's Canada. It's Canada.
It's definitely Canada.
Yeah, Canada is Alaska and Toronto. That's it.
Was Montreal? It's a city, right?
We don't. Maybe. Sounds French.
Is Quebec a city or a territory?
Yes.
Announcing Taylor Swift's Nova Scotia. What if she just does another day in Toronto?
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's it. So you can get all the Canadians. You can get half Canada on day 1, the other half on day 2.
There you go.
Did you hear from Canadian correspondent Courtney Lalonde?
Yes, I have heard from him.
I woke up from a text message this morning, a picture of him sitting in his electric Mustang. He was like, y'all just hating on my car. He's like, y'all hate on me the whole show and then rip my car while I'm sitting in it.
Yeah, he definitely hit me up like, you dunked on me for the Mach-E and didn't even know I had one. I said, well, look here. Sorry. I live to give.
Of course he does. Of course he would.
Yeah.
Of course he would.
Courtney. It's exactly what he would do. Yes. She also wants to know, will Trump smile in tomorrow's mugshot? Yes or no?
That's a good question. I would say
like
no.
Just mean mug it. Yeah,
I think he's gonna do like a smirk though. No, I don't think he's gonna straight face it. No, I think he's gonna do like a dismissive face.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's gonna be a smart ass man.
Yeah, that makes sense. Ugh.
I get to go in late tomorrow, so I'm not in any rush to finish. I get to sleep in.
Nice. I miss sleeping in. Kids are back in school. I'm back up at 6 a.m. every morning.
Oh,
yeah, sucks. You don't have any elementary schoolers, so it doesn't matter. Because they changed the start times for school. So like my son starts at 7:30, my daughter starts at 8:30.
Yeah, that's true.
I hate that. It's stupid. It makes me so mad.
My kids haven't been that young in a long time.
Yeah.
We haven't had to get up early. Well, I used to do that, but it's been many years since I've done that. I don't think I could now.
Yeah, they just did this. Like, it wasn't like that like 2-3 years ago. Everybody just started at 8.
Oh, really? Oh, no, my kids have always done that.
Yeah, it's never been that way out here. This is
when they're in different schools. I think they've always been offset by a little bit.
Yeah,
especially their bus times. Jack's bus used to come get him like, man, the damn crack of dawn, like 6:15 or whatever. Like, God, what is going on? My daughter got on the bus like 8:30. Like, what is happening? Like, this is so weird. I think it's with our district. I think the reason districts do that is they don't have enough buses or enough drivers, so they're repurposing them, right? So they'll offset the start time so they can get the first wave in and then go back out and try to get the second wave. And
ours is just they decided the kids needed, like junior high kids need more time to sleep, so they started them later. It had nothing
give them
to do
less homework so they can go to sleep sooner.
Like they need more sleep. Let them out earlier. Like we don't need.
I do feel for kids these days. They're so. My daughter was telling me they're so tracked digitally by both her mom, but also her parents. I mean, her teachers.
Oh, really?
Her teachers have the ability to text her.
What?
Like there's an app that all the students have that the teachers can send a message to their class and it'll text them through the app.
What if your child doesn't have a phone? Like my daughter does not have a cell phone, and I have no intention of
I think the app is also on their provided Chromebooks or
Chromebook,
Surface Book or whatever they have. So they get it that way too, and then they get it via email. But yeah, like there's like she's getting reminders like, don't forget you've got your book report tonight. And I'm like, that is such a crazy, that's a mind ripping thing to try and like that would have never worked for me ever.
No.
Wouldn't work for me now, but definitely not then. They were lucky if I showed up to class, let alone did my own. I never did homework.
I didn't do homework or book reports either. Like I'm going to get A's on all these tests, and if I can't do the homework in class, I'm not doing it. It's not
same. Yeah, I was like, we just didn't do that. She asked me, she's like, "Aren't you glad your teacher?" I was like, "I just never would have done that." She's like, "You have to." I was like, "I didn't." There was lots of things you have to do. I just never did.
Look, man, C's get degrees. I'm gonna get A's on all these tests. I'm gonna do some homework because I can get done in class, and I'll get a CSS because I don't do homework.
They used to send my homework home with Melissa.
That is
because I didn't come to class half the time. So they'd be like, "Can you give him this?" She's like, "He's not going to do it."
Oh man, the way they track attendance now too is like because it's so tied into like their funding, like they be on it. If you don't show up to school, you're getting a call, you're getting a letter.
Yeah, I have like it's just a whole different world now.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
Like we were on vacation. Leave us alone.
Yeah. You like the truancy alerts and you need doctor's notes and like they actually check now. They used to tell us that, but I don't think anybody cared when I was going to like that wasn't a real thing. Just like something people said. You know. I think they just threw that shit in the trash. You're like, "Here's my doctor's note." They're like, "Great." And they just like slip it in the trash after you leave.
Go to homeroom. Get out of here.
Yeah. Like nobody really cared. Now they really do.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
So different. So different. Rebecca's last question says, "Why doesn't the PlayStation Portal support cloud play? I literally hate Sony so much. They did this to me personally. I'm not getting it now. DW? What the hell does DW mean?"
I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry, Rebecca.
You know,
we don't.
She's with the kids and the slang and the Swift talk and all. I have no idea.
Yeah. We don't speak that here. Sorry.
Delvin tried to explain to her PD Pablo.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and she was like, "What?" And he was like, I was like, "Now you see what I deal with like on a weekly basis."
Yeah.
It's a generational clash with Rebecca.
Absolutely.
I
can't imagine her. Does she play streaming things? Like what?
She's been interested in this thing since they announced it. I think she thinks it's like Switch for her PlayStation, which it kind of is. I'm more interested that she's like, I'm interested that people are really split the difference between remote play and cloud play.
Right.
They're like the same thing.
Yeah.
You're just playing from your console versus somewhere else. I would imagine Rebecca would play on her couch, on her PlayStation handheld. It doesn't matter if the PlayStation's in the house. Like, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
She doesn't need I want the cloud option for people that don't have PlayStations.
Yeah.
Rebecca has a PlayStation.
She
doesn't fit the bill. Like, she's fine. She's good to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really get it.
Me either. Like, I don't understand.
Is it like, is the idea that the cloud would work better than remote play? I mean, I guess if her internet isn't very strong, that's possible, but she streams all the time. I don't say
she's a streamer. She's got to have internet.
She's fine.
Yeah.
Rebecca, you're fine. You're overthinking this. Just get the portal.
Get the thing, play on the couch with the cat, call it a day.
I don't know how much she plays her PlayStation. In my weekly chats with her, it doesn't sound like at all. Yeah. So get the portal and maybe you'll finally play it. Like,
maybe
get Sea of Stars, PlayStation Plus, and play it on the little portal.
It'll be better than on Switch.
Yeah. Piece of cake. You can watch
Easy
Taylor
peasy.
Swift concerts while you play.
Yeah, there you go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Garrett Bland says, is the PS5 PS Portal just the Wii U PlayStation edition?
No, this bothers me. I've seen this a lot today. People keep going back to the Wii U. And I know Garrett knows better than this, but like, why do people keep going to the Wii U?
Because of the fact that if you're a PlayStation person who didn't have a Wii U, you just assumed that the little handheld tablet was just a screen that was connected to the Wii U. Like,
right, but it was an independent screen, which is what makes the Wii U awesome.
See, I had no idea. I don't
know what the Wii U, if the PlayStation Portal could do what the Wii U did, I'd get a PlayStation 5.
What did the Wii U
So the Wii U, you're playing Zelda. On your TV, you're running around fighting things with Zelda. On the screen, on the controller, you have Link's inventory and a map, and you can move things in real time without pausing the game. These are independent screens, like a dual screen. Think more like 3DS. This is literally just a screen. It's not. It's showing you the same thing that you're. It's like if you were to have your TV on while you're using your Portal, the two screens are showing you the exact same picture.
Right.
Right. The Wii U was showing you independent, different pictures.
Yeah. See, I don't
like your second screen experience.
So people don't realize that. I
don't think so. That's the thing that bothers. As a Wii U lover, it's triggering me that you all don't know anything about the Wii U.
That's because nobody had a Wii U.
But it was awesome.
Was it?
It was. It really was.
It didn't quite.
It was. It did.
It didn't really take off. It didn't really do much.
That's for its own reasons. But it was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, that thing was just a controller, and then when you didn't play on the TV, you played on that.
This might explain this a little bit better now. For many years, when talking about PlayStation VR, I have echoed how much it's just like the Wii U, but you just strap it to your face. And I don't necessarily think that point has ever hit home. So like on Wii U, if you were playing a game like Nintendo Land, you could hold up your controller at the screen, right? And you would see what's on the screen. You could then rotate and look over here through your controller as to like what is in the game world off screen to the left or to the right, or look into the sky and things like it literally is VR. Like you could move around. Like if you had taken a gamepad and put it in a headset and put it on your head with some Wiimotes, it's the same thing. It's the same idea, but it was just had its own thing. And it did second screen stuff too. Like you could have maps, inventories, settings, and things off screen while you were still playing. I've always loved dual screening Zelda games. I think Zelda is the perfect way to play a Zelda game is with two screens. It's ideal.
I can't split my focus like that. I got to pause the game and look at the map. I can't look down at the map while stuff's still going on in the game. I'm going to die. I can't do that. Hit a pause button.
Zelda games didn't have that many opportunities to die. There's plenty of places where you can take a pause and look.
Look, man. Heat of the battle. This map got to come up. Look, man. I need a pause button.
You just glance. It's just like having a mini map on the screen. You just glance at it, give it a look. I remember I played Assassin's Creed 3 with the mini map on the gamepad. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 have the mini map and lots of inventory stuff, recipes, pictures. But Nintendo Land was the best version of it. So one of the games was called Chase Me, right? Where let's say we were all playing together. Right, 3 of you would have a controller and go running, and you could see each other on the screen, right? And one person had the gamepad, and they were a character that the other 3 people were trying to catch, but you could see where you were on the gamepad, but the other people couldn't see you, right? So it's kind of like the old GoldenEye days where you would block off a portion of the screen so you couldn't see each other and stuff like that. It was kind of like that, but in real life.
People did that?
Yeah, they put cardboard and shit on the screen so you couldn't see them because it was all split screen. They did it for Halo. They did it for Perfect Dark.
That is some serious stuff because we definitely didn't do that.
So I've seen this a bunch today.
Getting screen sniped.
People are like, this is a terrible device. It's just the Wii U. It's like, well, one, that's just wrong on 2 counts. 1, that's not what this device is. 2, that's not what the Wii U was. Actually, you done fucked up, Ron. Put some damn respect on the Wii U's name. Get educated, bro.
Yeah. Learned something today. Didn't know that's what the Wii U was.
Super cool.
I sold a couple of those things. Didn't really
I
know
sold
what the
more
hell
than
they
Nintendo did.
Yeah, that sounds
I
about
seriously like I would love a chart. I think I accounted for like 2% of Wii U sold. It's like Nintendo, YouTube, IGN, and like a little sliver of Donnie Reese.
right. Yep. And now you sell Game Pass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Our last question for the night comes in from Gamer Guy Lou. He says, with holiday season, Halloween through New Year's, starting in a couple of short months, are there any games you all revisit around a particular holiday? Donnie, take it away, because I do not.
Well, I'll tell you what it was. I don't want to like a particular holiday, but just the time of the year, especially post Halloween, was NCAA football. As like the seasons are ramping up and the bowl games are getting done. Like I used to love playing college football games, during the season, like with big matchups and stuff like that. And I mean, I still do with emulators and whatnot, but like, it's getting harder and harder. Like I really want the new game. The new Madden does give me some hope that like, if it at least plays like that, it'll be enjoyable. I can at least play it and have fun with it. Hopefully they build out the franchise, the coach mode and all that as good as NCAA needs a lot more work than what they seemingly put into those modes on Madden.
Right.
But no, I don't really have like a Thanksgiving game or a Christmas game. Spooky season definitely gets me in the mood to play horror games. That's why I'm waiting on Alan Wake.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, like, are there video games that people think of as like Thanksgiving games, like Overcooked really or something?
I think it's just spooky season for the most part, and maybe something you play like over Christmas break.
See, that's the thing is I associate the breaks with games because I'm playing games because we have a break. We're off work, we're off school, but they're not like holiday themed games.
Yeah.
Do we have Christmas games?
I don't think it was a holiday themed game, but just like you said, something that gets you in like that season. Like your spooky games make sense for Halloween.
Sure.
But is there anything? And then like Thanksgiving, you're playing NCAA football, and it just kind of fits.
Like SXX Tricky or something on.
Yeah, or maybe
some
just
cool snowboarders on Christmas.
Christmas season, you start playing NBA 2K.
Yeah, you could probably. That probably checks out. I probably do that
like
every year.
Ramping up. Yeah.
Mario Ice World.
Oh god, don't bring that shit up. Fucking Ice World. I hate Ice World. It's the worst. But yeah, no, I don't really play
Call of Duty.
Play things. I mean, Call of Duty does fit with the fall.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always playing Call of Duty like in the fall. Yeah, I mean, it gets that time of the year. Things are a little bit brisk, kind of. Yeah, it's Call of Duty time.
I feel like I don't end up playing Call of Duty until like the springtime when it's $30 and I can get it for cheap. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Don't ever play them like when they first come out. 'Cause I'm not big into the multiplayer. I really only want to play the campaign, and there's usually something else in the fall that I'd rather.
So that's smart. Unlike me, who's bought like every Call of Duty to basically just play the campaign. Usually on day one, like every single one of them. I just think like I said, you're smart. I'm not disagreeing with that approach, but there's a lot of people that are like, Call of Duty is not worth it. It's not. And I'm like, man, this 6 hours of campaign is like the best 6 hours of campaign I've played. For most games that I play. Like last year's Modern Warfare 2 reboot was awesome.
Fantastic
campaign, worth every dollar that I paid for.
Yep.
The length doesn't bother me with Call of Duty because they bring it on the visuals and the experience and the sound design. Like it's just good. So I'll take the quality.
I actually played a good deal of that one on like the multiplayer. I played a decent amount of multiplayer. I
played a little
too, and had a good time.
I'm more excited. I am legit half excited to play zombies. The new zombie mode. I'm here for it.
I want no parts of that.
I at least want to do the story. Like to get through the story one time, that'd be great.
Yeah. No zombies for me.
And for the last couple of years, I've always played a little Warzone. Not much, but a little. Usually on Jack's console, because Jack really likes Warzone. My issue isn't that I don't like Warzone. I do. I just don't want to download Warzone. They're like, it's 150 gigs. I'm like, oh, never mind. But Jack usually does. So I'll get in it with him. And I'm like, I'll sit there for a night or two and we'll play Warzone together. We'll trade the controller.
I do not like Warzone. Like, I think I've literally only played 5 games of Warzone. I do not like it.
Did you play on my birthday that year when it came out?
No.
Because we had a lot of fun that time. That was a lot of fun. We had Mo and Justin,
No,
and it was my birthday. I think it came out like on my birthday or something like that. So we were playing. We were having a blast.
Yeah, no, I definitely did not. I was not part of that.
But yeah, it's pretty fun.
I'm not a fan of those games at all.
Battle Royale?
Yeah, I'm not a Battle Royale guy. Doesn't work for me.
What's your favorite mode? What's your favorite Call of Duty mode?
Just regular multiplayer.
Oh, deathmatch.
Just deathmatch, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I don't really do deathmatch either.
I like kill confirmed. I like having to pick up the dog tags.
So I need a theme or like a mini game to really be interested. Like the surviving last is cool. Like King of the Mountain is like, I need something to like wrap my head around. Like literally like just fight each other and to get the most kills does nothing. There's no carrot on that stick for me. Like why? You know, like with Splatoon, like we're trying to paint the map. Like I need a goal. You know, like that's why I like zombies.
Yeah, see, I don't like those modes in Call of Duty because everybody's just trying to rack up kills. Nobody plays the damn objectives, so that drives me nuts. So I'd rather just
that is a bummer.
I'm just murdering people. So
yeah,
kill confirm works.
That might be why I don't play a whole lot of Call of Duty multiplayer because I'm not anti-multiplayer. I will play other multiplayers, but that's usually why. I like horde modes, like zombie modes, you know, map control modes. Like I need a goal, like an objective that we're all trying to go towards.
Yeah. That's probably why I like Destiny 2's multiplayer better because a lot of it, like their main multiplayer is actually called control. So there's 3 control points where you're trying to actually control the points and get kills. So I like that. But Call of Duty has something like that, but I don't like it very much. Like
now I will tell you, the last few years I felt like I just don't have it anymore.
Oh, I never had it.
So no, I had it. There was a time period I was pretty good.
I've never been good at multiplayer games. I've always
not
been
good, but I'm an adequate Call of Duty player at one point. Could play, you know, get 10, 12, 15 kills in a match. Like was good. Not like the worst person on the team, you know, was good. But dude, now I remember I got in that beta last year on PC and I was like, what the fuck is happening? Are these people flying? Where are they coming from? Like so fast. And like they're just moving constantly and in constant movement. And like, you know, I'm trying to like peek around a corner. Meanwhile, dude just jumps out of a window, does 8 backflips and shoots me from around a corner and just keeps on a run. I'm like, what just happened?
Right.
Call of Duty makes me feel old for sure.
Yeah, man.
I think that's why I like Warzone. Warzone tones that down a little. You can't like, yeah, you're not as fast. You can't be doing all that shit.
You gotta go find all your weapons. You don't just automatically spawn with them backflipping out of the window.
You see them like change weapons, they're like jump, like and they know the maps too. Like those players, like they know that shit. You know, they can move without even knowing. Like they know all the hallways and everything. You know, I'm just like, what's over here? Oh, you're dead. Oh well, shit. Never mind. What's over here? You're dead again. Like, oh, well, fuck.
Yeah. It's always the worst. Going to a new map and you're like, oh shit, I didn't play this map before. Time to die.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for episode 101 of the PlayStation. Play some video games podcast. It is time for sleep, clearly. Delvin, hope you're doing well, buddy.
See you, man.
Yeah. And until next time, play some video games.